beyond the pale. He will shake his head and give this answer without fail. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled strokes, he says he tells no lies and that he never jokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. A modern Don Quixote, he hates the windmills, claiming to protect the birds and whales he says they kill. But don't believe that story, it's really just a shill. He just did not want to see them wild golfing on Scottish hills. A hoax, he said it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, changing a storm path with black marker strokes. Confronted with the truth, they say it's all a hoax. Casting mail-in ballots is something that he's done. Now he wants to ban them for each and every one. He claims it's for integrity in each election, but he won't believe the results unless it's him that's won. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, they'll fool you with distractions like real sugar in Cokes. Confronted with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. He promised to release all the Epstein files that caused all the MAGA base to react with smiles. But how long has he put it off? It sure has been a while, and now he's calling this a hoax, protecting pedophiles. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he'll keep on gaslighting up until he croaks. Confronted with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax.
Trump piled debt, trillions tall. Promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, that screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Goes through crises, storms and war. Called soldiers losers who died in war. Hire his kids to run DC. If it was Hunter, they'd scream treachery. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, Fox News would say our day. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Love Kim Jong-un, he wrote love letters that take the guns first, lose those rights forever. Signed you spending bills with glee. Had Joe done that, it'd be tyranny. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they shout love today. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Kept secret files, countless untold. Said Putin's word was good as gold. Invited the Taliban to come to U.S. soil. If Joe had done that, they'd all recoil. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd want him to pay. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Double standards, loud and clear. Rules for Trump, but not for peers. What they call treason, if Joe's the name, is patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd shout no
This just in. A sudden spike in logic levels across the city. Citizens report seeing a man with glasses and a podcast mic. We go now live to Liberal Dan.
Yo, who you gonna call when Nazi writings on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, cause you know we got a plan. The right wing talking shit, but he ain't about to quit. He'll take his proton pack and zap your logic cause it's whack. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall.
It's being reported that Liberal Dan is setting up what appears to be some sort of straw man containment field.
He's calling out your lies with his mic he'll vaporize. Cross the streams in your dreams, bitch, you know that he's too wise. You're like Slimer talking crap, but you walked into his trap. Yo, it's more than entertainment, it's misinformation contained. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. The Statue Liberty, the writing you can't see. So bring the huddled masses, it's a war of the classes. While Trump may think he's Vigo, Dan can cut through that ego. He's got the facts to prove him wrong, got that logic like Egon. Your logic is a ghost, cause you know this chick is toast. When you follow EmptyGee, it's conspiracy, you'll see. There's no need to taser, he's got wit like Occam's razor. Liberal Dan cuts those lies with his Jewish-based laser.
It's unbelievable. Liberal Dan just used the literal dog whistle to lure a large group of internet trolls into what is being called a self-collapsing rhetoric singularity. In all my years of reporting, I've never seen anything like this.
So don't call to be a heckler, you ain't no Judge Rexler. He'll bust you like Scolary, cause your logic's looking hairy. Right-wing callers think they're cool, but they sounding just like Zool. You the dog, he the man, and yo, his name is Liberal Dan. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan.
Proclaimed king, a groper in chief, stealing our country, a crooked orange thief. Faux patriots who are poorly educated, wearing red hats and also unvaccinated. Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk on the left, that's right. A failing media that's barely treading water. They're too inept to fight this new world order. Corporate pigs are at the trough, hear the squeals. The swine won't bite the hands that feeds them meals. But Liberal Dan will see us flow. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. A leftist voice on air, exposing MAGA treason, breaking through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. Unmasking hypocrisy, the truth will be our guide. Call out their lies, justice is on our side. Cause Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk on the left, that's right. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right.
Welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left. That's right. This is your host, Dan Zimmerman, coming at you live from New Orleans, Louisiana. Don't know if we'll open up the phone lines today, but to join the conversation, actually, we may open up the phone lines for something a little different towards the end of the show for anybody who wants to participate. We'll get to that in a little bit. But thank y'all for being here. Thank you if you want to support the show, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment on all sorts of videos, share all sorts of videos, help the algorithm because the algorithm needs more rhythm. If you need a shirt that says that or anything else, go to the Liberal Dan Radio store. Should be linked to in the show description. Also, you could Venmo Liberal Dan at Liberal Dan on Venmo. You could buy me a cider. Go to liberaldan.com, click the buy me a cider button, or go to buymeacoffee.com/liberaldanradio. Link is on that screen right there. And also a Liberal Dan Patreon. Thank you to Cheryl, Arizona Sunflowers, Robert Reynolds, Jolie, and Aaron, who are the current paying Patreons. Thank y'all so much for being supporters of the show. Aaron and Jolie for such a long time as well. Appreciate y'all for that. Appreciate y'all for all the help you do in the show as well. Shouts out to everybody in the chat. So shout out to Cosmic Rose, by the way, who is over on Twitch, the top clip creator or top clipper at one of the, I think, 8 views or whatever on one of the top clips. So we're getting some views there. It's helping out the Twitch algorithm too, I suppose. But let's see. Reminder: Poland got wiped off all maps twice, but the people persevered and came back strong and helped kill the USSR. Good point. We'll get to some of that in a second. Shouts out to Trusted Every Game, Cosmic Rose or Villaby, Cat Femme, Jolie, Trisha as well. Thank you all for joining over on Twitch. Over on YouTube, we got James, Jeff, Jolie. Wow, lots of the J Squad there. Jeff from, of course, from just north of Uranus. Aaron and Jolie are both over there. Tim, good to see you, Tim. Suzanne. Who else? I think we got everybody who has said something, at least in the chat, but appreciate everybody for being here. Make sure to smash that like button and then, share the show, share the stream to your socials, etc. I am planning on something that has kind of cracked me up over the weekend. I think it was after Thursday's show when I made one of the songs that will be airing at some point next month. And I have a couple more planned to do to try and make sure to have a special treat, I guess. We'll see how it goes. But one of the songs is it's hilarious what I was able to do, and I really want to share it today, but I'm not, because today is not the appropriate day to share it. Anyway, so what's going on with me? I've had a shit day. Or shit 2 days, I should say. Cassie's went back to the ER yesterday. Her symptoms were getting worse. I believe the Guillain-Barré is back again. She was having much difficulties getting around the house when she needed both kids' help to make it to the bathroom, I guess, with a walker. I was like, this is enough. We're going to go. We spent probably about 5 to 6 hours in the ER, but it was well before that when they told us that they eventually would be admitting her. She's admitted. She got, what's needed to test for Guillain-Barré. Not sure if the test is going to show what it needs to show to give a positive diagnosis of it, but sometimes the lumbar puncture, if taken too early, might not show the proteins that need to be there. But 2 to 6% of the people who have Guillain-Barré syndrome get it again. And obviously it's going to happen to Cassie, because one day I believe that there's going to be an entry into the medical journal somewhere about some sort of condition. It's just going to be called the Cassie. It'll be named for her, and hopefully it'll include a cure for whatever the hell it is, because I can't take much more of this. This is lots of stress, lots of annoyance, and just thank you, Alyosha, for the bits. It's just all driving me nuts. And it's very hard. Again, have had a very, very emotional 2 days. Not helped by the fact that I'm still getting grief from United Healthcare in trying to get one of my medicines. I got my other one finally dealt with. Third time was a charm on that one. But we're still I think I might have talked to somebody at United or who works with United Healthcare at the pharmacy side, who sounds like she might know what the hell she's doing and might be able to get me what I need to get and organize everything into one nice packet to be able to get me back on the Zepbound. Hopefully that happens, but you know, who knows if that'll happen or not. I'm not holding my breath.
It is what it is.
I hope he holds his breath for a little longer. But you know, who knows, right? Good to see you, Steve, from across the pond.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
And then, of course, the other thing is my benefits started as a new job, started March 1st. There's 3 different types of indemnity plans. And the one that I was most concerned with of making sure that everybody was going to be on was the hospital care indemnity plan. There's also an accident indemnity plan and a critical illness indemnity plan. Which one of those 3 did not actually get my wife and kids on it and just had me on it? The hospital indemnity plan. So my screw up is costing me at least $1,000, if not more, in money that I would have gotten to support our medical bills, but now won't be. And then, of course, the people, I was like, I swear I put it in there. It's like, well, there's no record of it. I'm like, but look at my other benefits that I've chose for my family, but there's no record of you doing it or whatever. I was like, clearly I wanted to have them on 3. There's no record of that happening. So, and of course, they're like, well, open enrollment is starting. It'll you know, start, you know, in May or whatever. You'll be able to re-enroll for those then. A lot of fucking good it does me now, right? So I was very pissed off at myself this morning for that. And I'm still pissed off at myself for it. And I don't know how long I'll remain pissed off at myself for it. But I'm sure I'll be dwelling on it for a very long time because, especially when bills start rolling in, because I'm not going to be a very happy camper about that. And it was all me, all my fault. I did it, I'm guessing, because I thought I did it right, but I did it wrong, apparently. And, well, you know, that happens. And, of course, as the asshole says...
It is what it is.
Thank you. Good to see you, Jen. Thank you for joining us over on Twitch. Petrazi, Troll Slayer, Bingo, Vasantha, Susie. Thank you all for joining. Good to see you. Make sure to smash that like button as well on your way in. Shout out to Joel the Fish. But yeah, I am not in the best of moods. So, and one of the things I might do later, if there's an interest of it on the thing, I'd love to be able to have just a bunch of y'all call in and let me record it, and just call in. I'll answer the phone. I'll say, you know, I'll put you on, and then I'll say. And then if you say, like, get better, Cassie, or something like that, or feel better, get well soon, or something like that, and I can make a little video that I could share directly with her. And I'm sure she would appreciate that a lot. So we will try that maybe a little later in the show. So anyway. What else? I think that's pretty much all I kind of wanted to speak about before the show starting. And of course, Hal ended much earlier than normal, so no raid today, so I'm not waiting on any content for, you know, political content for people to stroll in. If people come in at this point, you know, I appreciate it, and we'll you know, but they could always start at the beginning. I think Dawn said she'd do that. Hi Dawn, thank you, welcome for joining us in the show as well. Let's see, I think Dan just did his Biden after hanging up on the phone with Netanyahu impression. Probably. So, yeah. What else? Cosmic Rose says Guillain-Barré syndrome sucks. I knew a guy in Australia who had it also about 9 years ago. Yeah, and she's now getting it twice, we were pretty sure. So, see, Cat Femme over on Twitch says, I think Donald's angry because the space mission's getting more coverage. It's funny how he always has to remind us that he's president. He has to remind us a lot of things, but he probably has to remind us a lot of things because he has to remind himself of a lot of things. I don't know. So, yeah, it's crazy. Imagine if Biden ranted and raved to a group of children about egg prices and the auto pen. Exactly.
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, the screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
We'll get to your question, Big Hook, in a little bit. I am going to be talking about his insane post on his stupid website his propaganda copy or Twitter from Wish or whatever, or even, I don't know, Twitter is Twitter from Wish at this point because of Elon, but Trump's version is much more stupid. So, although I was surprised to see some people actually criticizing Trump on his own site, which was maybe a little refreshing to see. But let's go back into not the Wayback Machine, but to the last year machine, because there are some things sometimes that we miss here at Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right. One of those things is the fact that on September 10th of 2025, there was an announcement from the U.S. Department of Education that will be ending funding to racially discriminatory discretionary grant programs at minority-serving institutions, is how they word it. Today, the U.S. Department of Education announced that it will end discretionary funding to several minority-serving institutions, grant programs that discriminate by conferring government benefits exclusively to institutions that meet racial or ethnic quotas. This action follows the U.S. Solicitor General's determination in July that the Hispanic-serving institutions programs violate the equal protection component of the Fifth Amendment's Due Process Clause. Of course he said that because, why wouldn't he say that? Because it's under Trump, and the Department of Justice would not defend them in ongoing litigation. The department agrees that the racial quotas in these programs are unconstitutional due to similar issues with all the other programs. The department is using statutory authority to reprogram discretionary funds. Discrimination based upon race or ethnicity has no place in the United States. Of course, what they mean is discrimination against white people. They don't give a shit about discrimination against anybody else. The discretionary grant programs that the U.S. Department will cease to fund include 2025 new awards and non-competing continuations, and the department will reprogram funding from the following: strengthening Alaska and Native Hawaiian serving institutions, Title III, Part A, strengthening predominantly black institutions, strengthening Asian American and Native American Pacific Islander serving institutions, strengthening Native American serving non-tribal institutions, minority science and engineering improvement, developing Hispanic serving institutions, and promoting post-baccalaureate opportunities for Hispanic Americans. About $350 million in discretionary funds were expected to be allocated to support these programs. In fiscal 2025, these funds will be reprogrammed into programs that do not include discriminatory and racial and ethnic quotas, blah, blah, blah. But what they want to do, what the end result of that is going to be that there's going to be less funds available for the programs, which is going to make it more difficult to offset the already existing discrimination that's going on in our society that still exists, that lasts from, the inception of this country to this day. Some of it clearly has been lessened, but it hasn't been eliminated, and that's the purpose of a lot of these institutions, is to make sure that people can have the opportunities that they were denied over the course of a very long time. So, yeah, not a very big fan of that, and of course it just continues on and goes on with the discriminatory policies of this administration. Let's go back to previous events that lead to one of the events that happened over the course of the weekend. Chaplain William Bill Greene, on March 20th of 2024, when Biden was still president, was formally promoted to Major General as the 26th U.S. Army Chief of Chaplains at the U.S. Army Institute for Religious Leadership on March 15th. The ceremony was hosted by General Gary Brito, the commanding general for the U.S. Army Training and Doctrine Command. As many of you know, says by Brito, this is not just a promotion to a new rank. This is to formally and fully enable Bill Greene to execute the monumental importance of the Office of Chief of Chaplains, where he will continue to lead efforts of our entire chaplain corps by ministering to the spiritual, emotional, and mental needs of our soldiers, their families, and our lay professionals. In his remarks, Greene thanked his family, mentors, and colleagues for their contribution to his success. I'd like to first give honor to God, he says, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who called me to this ministry and to this profession, to care for and love, to walk with honor, respect, and not to judge his people. Today is about saying thank you to so many individuals who have invested in me and in us along the way. I I can truly say that this military journey has changed my life. It all started with the love and support of my parents. My mom was my first drill sergeant. I joined the Army when she told me I was not going to stay here. Like a turtle at the top of the fence post, I knew I did not reach this position myself. Many of you in the room have coached me, taught me, mentored me, encouraged me, etc. During my time, I've been blessed with chaplains on my team who displayed high levels of confidence and service to live their call. I've had the experience of having capable teammates at every level. I will never forget Reverend Benjamin Williams, because he taught me how to be a chaplain before I entered the Corps. He taught me how to work with congregations, showing love and support for others. I'm thankful to God for allowing me to serve this great nation. Yeah, and to that, on March 25th, Pete Hegseth made this announcement as it pertained to what was going to be going on in the Department of Defense.
As I reported to you in December, in previous administrations, our chaplain corps was infected by political correctness and secular humanism.
Does the words there by the leader of the former leader of the chaplain corps, does that sound like secular humanism to you? It didn't sound like secular humanism to me. It sounded a lot like, you know, somebody who was a Baptist man of God, man of faith, a believer of Jesus Christ, you know. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a Jew. Let's listen to again what he said just recently. The chaplain said, Chaplain Bill Greene, praying for the U.S. military during the Medal of Honor ceremony at the White House.
Light in every darkness, the rock on which we stand. As we depart this place of honor, may the courage of these heroes be our example, righteousness our choice, and hope in you our guiding light. We especially ask for your protection over our military service members who are protecting the interests of our nation at this very moment. And Heavenly Father, grant us the will to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly before you. In your holy name we pray. This will defend. Amen.
All right, so that, again, that doesn't sound like the voice of somebody who is a secular humanist, does it? I mean, it doesn't sound like that to me. Maybe somebody else has a different definition of secular humanism. While secular humanism should be a welcome belief system in the military, and all belief systems should be welcomed in the military, but apparently old Petey Boy Keg's Breath or Keg's Death doesn't agree. Let's continue with what this asshole had to say.
The core functions of the chaplain corps were changed and watered down until they were viewed by many as nothing more than therapists. Faith and virtue were traded for self-help and self-care.
Why do faith and virtue and self-help and self-care, why are they diametrically opposed things as he seems to be presenting them? It seems to me that, you know, if you're a person of faith, that it is a way to get you for self-help and self-care. I mean, is he criticizing people who are seeking self-help and self-care? And what if somebody who was not somebody who was religious wanted to go to one of these chaplains and was like, look, I'm not a man of faith, but I need help. It would be good that one of these chaplains would actually be able to provide, some emotional or guidance or whatever that doesn't rely on religion, but that just relies on just ideas of goodwill towards men and everything like that. But I guess that's the kind of idea that's not welcome in Donald Trump's military, right?
Started correcting that drift then, and today we're going further. The crucible of combat tests more than the body. It tests conviction,
of combat,
character, and spirit.
Test conviction. I mean, well, Donald Trump is a man of conviction. Donald Trump is a man of conviction. 34 of them, at my last count.
The military's chaplain corps serves as the spiritual and moral backbone of our nation's armed forces.
Well, they're doing a fucking terrible job, I guess, if that's the case, because the armed forces have shown a lack of morality, at least at the top levels, i.e. the commander-in-chief and the head of the Department of Defense, by A, naming it, a Department of War, and B, by taking these actions that seem to be, in violation or will be in violation of international law if they do follow through with what threats they have made. And, and then firing people and denying promotions of people who are of color or of women, because it's been made very clear, to me at least, and many others as well, that Keg's death is very hostile to people of color, people of, people who aren't white, and women. But, they're also hostile to people who are not going to be yes men, who are not going to question their orders, who are not going to sit there and say, you know what, maybe this mass carpet bombing of Iran is not a good idea. Maybe we should, be having more targeted attacks against the nuclear infrastructure if, in fact, you didn't obliterate it back last year. And instead, they're firing anybody who might stand against them.
Forces. Chaplains help forge spiritual readiness across the force. And that matters because in combat,
they want spiritual readiness because they want zealots who are serving in the military who are more than happy to die for Jesus, or for their Jesus, which is Trump at this point.
Crisis and in loss, a warfighter needs more than a coping mechanism.
A war fighter, like how they have to fucking use these terms. Like, why can't you just call the person a soldier or somebody who is a member of our armed forces? Why does it have to be a war fighter? Why can't it be a freedom defender or something? But no, they have, again, he said he's peace. He's supposedly stopped all these wars, but men of peace don't do this. Do not do all of the crap that is going on in the Trump administration right now.
They need truth, big T truth. They need
and by big T, they means Donald Trump's Truth and Truth Social. It's a great website. Make sure to follow and subscribe.
Conviction. They need a shepherd. And as I've said before, spiritual health is equally important to a servant.
The new prayer is going to be, Donald Trump is my shepherd, I shall not want, because Trump won't give it to us anyway, because he'll make us serve without pay.
Service members' physical and emotional health. This update is part of our efforts to return the Chaplain Corps to its core mission of serving the spiritual needs of our warfighters.
Stupid.
82% of whom identify as being religious.
So fuck the other 18, right? Fuck the other 18%. I mean, I understand how Donald Trump might be turned on by the idea of saying fuck the 18, because he's probably thinking you're talking about an 18-year-old instead of, the 18% of the people who's left. I'm sure Donald Trump couldn't even do that math to figure it out that quickly. He'd probably need somebody else to tell him what the math was. But, the 18% of the people who are still risking their lives and serving this country and are being put in harm's way needlessly and recklessly by this administration, just fuck them, huh? Screw those 18%. You want to just get rid of them so you can have your own holy war? You can have your own version of the Crusades? Is that what you want there, Keg's death?
Today, I want to update you on 2 reforms we are undertaking to further make sure we're making the Chaplain Corps great again. In December, I told you that we were going to revamp the military's current faith and belief coding system, renaming it the Religious Affiliation Codes. The previous system had ballooned to well over 200 faith codes.
Oh no! It's more welcoming. How dare they?
200. It was impractical and unusable, and many codes were never used at all. An overwhelming majority of the military population used only 6 of the codes.
So, again, why does that matter? If somebody doesn't follow one of those 6, still wants to serve the country, you should be fulfilling their spiritual needs too, right? Fulfilling your spiritual needs sounds like namby-pamby wimpy talk there, Pete Hegseth. But hey, what do I know?
Our internal review committee recommended that going forward, the department use 31 religious affiliation codes.
And it was me that did it. He talks about the committee, but it was me, old Donny boy.
This brings the codes in line with its original purpose, giving chaplains clear, usable information so they can minister to service members in a way that aligns with that service member's faith background and religious practice.
Here's my issue. Again, they should be there as somebody who can be gone to. The people who are in the Chaplain Corps should have people go to them, and if they are seeking help from the chaplain should then be able to give them the help that they need. Chaplains should not be there to minister, to preach the gospel, to tell other people what religious things that they should believe. But that's exactly where they're fucking going with this. It's absurd. And it should be considered unconstitutional, but what does this administration care about the fucking Constitution, right?
The second reform I want to tell you about today concerns chaplain rank insignia. The memo I will sign today directs chaplains, all of whom are officers, to replace the rank insignia on their uniforms with their religious insignia.
So they earned their rank as part of the military, and you're telling them to fuck off and they have to label themselves by their religion? And again, if I'm somebody who's not Christian and I'm serving in the military, shouldn't I be able to go to any of the chaplains and get help and not feel like I can't get help because you're wearing a religious emblem that's different from mine? I mean, to me, that doesn't make sense for what they're doing. To me, you know, what I would say makes sense. But hey, what do I know?
Their rank will not be shown. This speaks to the difficult balance of the duality of a military chaplain. A chaplain is first and foremost a chaplain, and an officer second. This change is a visual representation of that fact. Specifically unique to the role of a chaplain, they are first and foremost called and ordained by God. And while they will retain rank as an officer, to those they serve, their rank will not be visible. Instead, they will be seen among the highest ranks because of their divine calling.
Oh, Jesus. Literally.
This reform is intended to uplift and celebrate the chaplain's role as a chaplain.
How many times can he say chaplain as a chaplain? A chaplain. My favorite one was Charlie. I loved when he dressed up like Hitler.
It also removes any unease or anxiety junior officers or enlisted personnel may have in approaching an officer, potentially a senior officer.
Why, if they know that they're a chaplain, why would they have unease? And maybe if there's somebody who causes unease, maybe they shouldn't be in the chaplain corps to begin with, right? I mean, if I was somebody who was not Christian and I had someone with a big old cross on their, you know, on their uniform, I might be less likely to approach them because I would have the fear that they might not be able to counsel me in the way that I need to be counseled. But again, that's what they don't care. They don't care about that because they just want a Christian militia. That's basically what they want to make. They want to make a Christian militia, an army of God, an army of Jesus, who are going to act in contradiction to what Jesus said. Because in reality, their Jesus is Donald.
For guidance on sensitive matters, such as addiction, relationships, or struggles with faith. These two reforms are big progress, but we're not even close to being done. These are the...
And they're going to fire... Oh, Pete Kegsbreath is going to fire more people like no one's ever seen.
The first steps toward restoring the esteemed position of chaplain as moral anchors of our fighting force. Theirs is a high and sacred calling, but they can only
I was going to be a chaplain, then I got high. Wait, no, wrong story.
be successful if they're given the freedom to boldly guide and care for their flock.
Why did they not have the freedom there before? And why are they their flock? Like, they should be there for people to go to, not be there to have a flock. What the flock is up with this military?
And to our chaplain, you have a sacred calling. So preach the truth, be steadfast in your faith, and shepherd the flock entrusted to you.
And of course, you know, well, this idiot then, you know, goes ahead and fires Major General William Greene. Pete Hegseth removed the head of the Army Chaplains Corps and 2 other generals during Holy Week as he navigates the young. Again, it was done during Easter, like Holy Week. Like, what a great time to fire somebody who is clearly a devout Christian, who left the military to serve go become a minister and have a calling to serve God in the fucking military as the chaplain, and apparently did it well enough that he was promoted to being the head of the chaplainry, or the chaplaincy, I guess I should say. You He belongs to the National Baptist Convention, began serving as chief of the chaplains for the Army June 20th, 2023, was formally appointed to the position of December 5th, 2023. He was the third black American to hold the position. Greene was formally removed on April 2nd, 2026, 3 days before Easter. A Defense Department official confirmed his removal, but did not offer a reason for his removal. The reason is probably because, I don't like him because he's one of the blacks, and I don't like the blacks doing the, I want white chaplains, not black ones. The Reverend Raz Waf, Executive Director of the Military Chaplains Association, said that Greene's removal is unprecedented, noting that chiefs are appointed to 4-year statutory written in law terms. Really, there should be a for-cause reason, and in this case, there is no for-cause reason. Adding he believes Greene was doing absolutely a great job with the conflict in Iran ongoing. Waf says changing senior leaders is always a little risky. He said stable leadership provided by Greene will be missed. Army senior chaplains will meet the challenge, I'm sure of that. The removal of Greene and Army Chief of Staff Randy George and Army Transformation and Training Command Commanding General David Hodney comes more than a month after Trump began military attacks on Iran. Over the past 14 months, Hegseth has removed more than a dozen senior military officials. It is unclear whether Greene's removal is related to Iran policy, whether it is related to Hegseth's broader efforts to reform the chaplaincy, or whether the reason is entirely different. Why not a whole bunch of them? Why not all three? It could be all three. In mid-2025, Greene introduced the Army Spiritual Fitness Guide, which Hegseth scrapped in December. At the time, Hegseth says the guide promoted secular humanism, only referenced God once and never referenced virtue. Hegseth and Trump could learn a lot about the idea of virtue. He said our chaplains are chaplains, not emotional support officers. We're going to treat them as such, as we just heard. Archbishop Timothy Broglio of the Archdiocese of the Military Services spoke in favor of Hegseth removing the guide, similarly condemning efforts to reduce the chaplaincy to either social work or cheerleading. Hegseth definitely wants to return the chaplaincy to responsibility for religious services, religious instruction, and advising the commanders. The Archdiocese did not respond to a request for comment about Greene's removal. Of course, Chris Coons from Delaware, Senator, noted it was done without explanation, called Greene a decorated leader who's tended to our military spiritual health with honor and distinction. The purge of senior military officials should alarm every American. With no clear path to ending the war in Iran, experience and trusted leadership matter more than ever. Instead, Trump and Hegseth are pushing out senior officers for seemingly no valid reason. And of course, jump on top of that, that the Pentagon also omitted the Catholic Good Friday service. The Pentagon, headquartered in the Department of Defense, Hegseth called the Department of War, held Protestant services on Good Friday, but did not hold a Catholic Good Friday service. Pentagon official said that the Pentagon chaplain's office priest was not in town on Good Friday, so no service was scheduled. However, Catholic masses were routinely offered to employees. Catholic masses are held on a daily basis. Additionally, the Pentagon chaplain holds weekly services for several major religions. Each service is open to all department employees. The board of the Catholic Military Apostolate in the United States said in a statement that we understand the regular Catholic chaplain assigned to the Pentagon was not present on that day. If a Catholic liturgical service is normally offered there and could not be held because of other agreements, that is disappointing. At the same time, moments like this demonstrate precisely why the work of lay apostolates such as CMAUS is so essential. When chaplains are unavailable to lead formal services, actively involved Catholic lay people living in the community within the military can and must come together to pray, learn, and sustain the faith, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, there's that. Absolutely freaking ridiculous that we have this. Yeah, Evie's aunt, Pope Leo has angered white Christian nationalists, of course, because, you know, the Protestants, evangelical Protestants tend to not like Catholics. Let's see, Orb Rumor, if atheists are all evil to these bros, wouldn't they make better war crime murderers? You get an actual Christian, they might disobey an illegal and immoral order based on Jesus's teachings. Well, yeah, but, you know, as Fugelsang brings up, as Churches at Every Game brings up, some of the loudest Christians are the ones most rejoicing in the teaching of Christ, but not saying it, but points at Keg's breath. Exactly. Chad, look up the warrior ethos for the Army. I've repeated that so many times that forever ingrained in my brain. I get chills every time the national anthem plays from the pride of the Army instilled in me. Yep, but, you know, can you agree with removing somebody like this? You know, like do you think, what do you think the job of the chaplaincy is in the military? What do you think it should be? Should it be just to proselytize and minister, or should it be to help people who come to them? Suzanne Jones, Hank Seth is full of it. He's supposed to be a liaison to the armed service, not lord and master. Exactly. If Christ, Tim Farrell, if Christ comes back, it will be to stop Hank Seth and Trump. Hell, I would welcome that. And I'm Jewish. So, whatever it takes, right? Yeah, the remixtress, welcome, thank you for joining. Remember when Pete Hanks' mom wrote a whole letter saying her son was trash and shouldn't be allowed to power over anyone? That was his own mom. Yeah, that was great. Chad says, I was a combat medic during the Iraq War. It was very difficult for privates to open up to colonels or any other officer for that matter. I think taking the rank actually makes a lot of sense. Look, I'm open to being wrong on that, but still, it seems to be disrespectful to the people who served in the military to remove their rank from their uniform, and that's a rank that they earned. Like, maybe you could have an extra, like, chaplaincy patch or something else that says, hey, I'm a chaplain, come talk to me, but it doesn't have to be one that's for a specific religion, because shouldn't anybody be able to go to a chaplain and be like, look, I need some advice, right? Anybody should be able to go to a chaplain and be like, look, can you help? I need to talk to somebody. I'm having a problem. I would like to talk. Doesn't necessarily have to be a faith-based talk, but I just need help. But apparently to Pete, old Pistol Pete, he doesn't want that happening. He wants, people to only be proselytized to in the military. So it's ridiculous. Chad says there are more than just Christian chaplains. For now. But how long will it take for him to start, removing the chaplains who are not evangelical Protestants? Wait for that to happen. I fully anticipate that to happen, that they're going to... You already saw it going on with the lack of services for Good Friday for the Catholic folks. What's going to happen next? What will happen next? I don't know. But it's nothing good. I can absolutely guarantee you that, especially when you're dealing with a military that is so inept that it left an AWACS E-3 Sentry plane that was based out of Tinker Air Force Base, was destroyed by a drone and missile attack strike on Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia on March 27, 2026. The incident occurred at Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, 80 miles southeast of Riyadh. The destroyed aircraft was an E-3G Sentry, often referred to as Captain Planet, part of the limited fleet of U.S. airborne warning and control system planes. Images on social media verified by CNN showed E-3's distinctive rotating radar collapsed with the fuselage destroyed. It severely and significantly impacts the U.S. monitoring capability in the region. Reports indicate over 10 U.S. service members were injured, 2 seriously during the attack. How could they let that happen? And who gave them the information? I've seen some sources that say that it was Russia that provided Iran the information of where this was, and then they were then allowed to, bomb it and destroy it, and so now we are down that piece of military. Of course, I'm more concerned about being down the lives of the service people who have served this country with honor and distinction, and who are being forced to follow orders that are, questionable at least. And of course, they're going to be less than questionable. They're going to be more so horrific if Donald Trump follows through on the threat he made previously, but also with the post that he made to Propaganda Social. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There'll be nothing like it. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. So yeah, so after threatening to do that, he's threatening to do it again this upcoming Tuesday if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz. And then, he's going to bomb bridges, he's going to bomb power plants, and he's also threatened to go after the desalination plants. I think I finally said it right that time. Look, I will mock Donald Trump for how he mispronounces things. And I absolutely will mock Donald Trump whenever he mispronounces things. I mean, take this, for example.
I said, well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Acetaminophen.
Took him like 4 tries, but he finally got it. And look, if you watch me saying desalination and I say it wrong, fine, mock the fuck out of me. I don't care. I for some reason, I have a problem saying that word. Like my wife can't say the word alpaca right. I mean, it's cute, right? I found it very endearing that she can't say the word alpaca. Sometimes I have problems saying it because of all the times that she says it wrong. She says alpaca. I think it's because there's a street here in New Orleans called La Palco, which maybe it's a little bit similar, whatever, but I always say it's cute. It's very cute. I actually I've had a video of it posted on Facebook of her saying her version of alpaca. It's very sweet and endearing. Makes me love her even more. Just her being cute like that. But no, like, again, if you want to mock me for saying desalination wrong, absolutely, go ahead, mock it. I don't care, because I'm not perfect, but, I could say for one damn thing, I'm clearly better than Donald fucking Trump. But yeah, and with Donald Trump's Truth Social, I mean, imagine if Biden made a post like that.
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, that scream foul play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
Anyway, so, yeah, so then you have Large Marge, old 6B, old EmptyGee out there. Like the song says, when you follow EmptyGee, it's conspiracy, you see. But now, following EmptyGee, I don't follow her on Twitter or whatever, but still, she posted this after Donald Trump made his insane rant threatening collective punishment again on the people of Iran. On Easter morning, this is what President Trump posted. Everyone in his administration that claims to be a Christian needs to fall on their knees and beg forgiveness from God and stop worshiping the president and intervene in Trump's madness. I know all of you and him, and he's gone insane, and all of you are complicit. I'm not defending Iran, but let's be honest about this. The strait is closed because U.S. and Israel started the unprovoked war against Iran based off the same nuclear lies they've been telling for decades. At any moment, Iran would develop a nuclear weapon. You know who has a nuclear weapon? Israel. They are more than capable of defending themselves without the U.S. having to fight their wars, kill innocent people and children, and pay for it. Trump threatening to bomb power plants and bridges hurts the Iranian people, the very people Trump claimed he was freeing. On Easter of all days, we as Christians should be reminded that the Son of God died and rose from the grave so that we can be forgiven once and for all of our sins. Jesus commanded us to love one another and forgive one another, even our enemies. Our president is not a Christian, and his words and actions should not be supported by Christians. Christians in this administration should be pursuing peace, urging the president to make peace, not escalating war that is hurting people. This is not what we promised the American people when they overwhelmingly voted in 2024. I know, I was there more than most. This is not making America great again. This is evil. I mean, is she wrong? Where's the lie there? Look. I understand that she's going to take any chance to attack Israel, and I'm a little sus of Jewish space laser woman whenever she is critical of Israel, because to me, there's always going to be a hint of, well, is she doing it because she really doesn't like the actions of the Israeli government, or is she really doing it because she just hates Jews, like, she did when she made the comment about the space lasers. So, anyway. But yeah, how do we just... Like, when Marjorie Taylor Greene is making more sense than this administration, this administration has jumped the goddamn shark. Let's see, there's like a Bart Simpson meme of him writing something on a blackboard 100 times or whatever as punishment. I think Pod Save, my trust fund bros et al. Should have to write on the blackboard, black voters are the base of the Democratic Party 10,000 times. Especially black women. Vote like a black woman. That's what I've said. Big Hook. Dan is my competition when it comes to MAGA voices spouting their idiocy. A cross between EmptyGee and Boebert. I don't know. I was looking to see how much y'all liked that impression there of old Large Marge. Obviously, it was a big old mocking version of her, but still. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Thank you, Donald. You know, shit is out of control when you suddenly look at Marjorie Taylor Greene as a sane Republican. Exactly. I mean, that is completely jumping the shark. Exactly, James. She's not wrong. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and some of the things that people were like, how could he say praise Allah? How could he say praise be to Allah? That's not a Christian thing. Clearly, he was mocking Muslims by him saying praise be to Allah. He wasn't literally saying it to, you know, endorse some belief in the Islamic faith. He was doing it to be mocking of the Iranian people and their faith. So, atrocious at every game. She's not sane by any means. She just got a few things right. But she gets more things right than the rest of her Republican sycophants. So, there's that, right? There is that. She has that going on for her. Atrocious at every game. Snake Tapper skipped reading that last line because he's a fucking coward. That's funny. Although, why is it Snake Tapper and not Snake Crapper? Like, to me, Crapper would make sense as a better last name for old Jakey boy, right? So that's a low bar. Very true. The bar for Republicans having sense or being sane is so low that it's a tavern in Hades, right? Let's see. I missed something. Worse, Dan. He mocked Allah. Ask Rushdie what that means. Yep. They're gonna call a fatwa against him or whatever, right? Is that the right term? I don't know if I used the term correctly, but yeah, they're gonna call out a holy war against old Donald now for mocking Allah. So, you know, good luck there. And of course, here's the other thing with, again, and I'll repeat this over and over again. When he goes, because Big Hook asked earlier, do you think that he's going to chicken out, or do you think that he's going to actually follow through with the threat? I absolutely think he'll follow through with the threat, because he's already shown himself to be unwilling to, you know, care about the lives and the safety of the innocents who are over there. He probably will never call the people over there innocents with any realness to his voice. He'll probably doing it in a mocking way. He probably thinks that all of them are complicit, especially because they haven't picked up arms or whatever and taken arms against their current what's left of the administration that has been bombed. But, you know, I fully think that he intends to go through with it, and that the only way it doesn't happen is if there are people in the military who actually take their oath seriously and refuse to follow through with that order. Hell, one of the things that I would like to see is some of these retired generals just standing up and saying, look, I'm taking control now because it's clear that the people in the military, I believe that my firing was unconstitutional and illegal, and it's clear that the people who are currently charged in the military are not following their oaths of office, and see what happens then. See how much of the military defects over to these new leaders, because that would be an interesting thing, right? But if Donald Trump follows through and bombs the bridges and bombs the electric plants and bombs the water desalination plants and makes it back into the fucking Stone Age like he's threatened to do, and put them back in the Stone Age where they belong. If he does that, then that is A, a fucking war crime, and B, it's going to create more radical Islamic terrorists than we'll know what to do with, and they will find a way over here, and they are going to wreak havoc on us. Why? All because Donald Trump doesn't know how to be a civil, decent, kind, moral human being. He is a piece of giant crap on top of, you know, the rest of the turd blossoms there in his administration. So, but yeah. So then, of course, there was this today. I don't know how much of this will go through, but we'll watch a bunch of it, because again, with everything that's been going on the last 2 days, I haven't had too much time to do much show prep, and I hope y'all forgive me for that and having to kind of use a longer reaction video as a kind of a crutch at this point, because again, dealing with all the health issues with Cassie. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch this first. You know, the White House press conference of old Donald Trump. Text 45470 to download the White House app. There was no fucking way I mean, granted, the feds probably have access to anything you want anyway, but there's no fucking way I would put the White House app on my goddamn phone. Absolutely no fucking way. That probably has more chance of being malware than anything that is produced over in China, right? Like TikTok or whatever.
It's a great honor to be with you, and happy Easter. We had a great Easter. This is one of our better Easters, I think, in a lot of different ways. I can say militarily.
This is the best Easter militarily. Like, are you even following the idea of what Easter is supposed to be about? Like, you know, I mean, you're not dropping chocolate eggs all over the Middle East. You're dropping bombs. It's the greatest Easter like no one's ever seen.
It's been one of the best. So, good afternoon. We have quite a bit to...
Again, only kindergartners think that everything is the best. Like, this is kindergarten thinking. That's what his mind level is. His cognitive abilities are that of a preschooler with dementia. Is basically Donald Trump in a nutshell.
discuss. We'll go into pretty good detail. And we have
Let the best detail like no one's ever seen.
the people that are most involved. We'll give you exactitude. And we're here today to celebrate the success of
I love exactitude. Again, I have the best words. No one has better words. And more on that later, because holy shit.
one of the largest, most complex, most harrowing combat searches. I guess you would call it a search and rescue mission.
What else would you call it, dumbass?
Ever attempted by the military. Generally when...
Ever attempted? I don't know about ever attempted, but it was still a good thing to do. And they managed to be successful with it in spite of you being the commander-in-chief.
Planes are knocked down in war, especially when you're fighting a strong group, an evil group. You can't really do this because you send in 200 men to pick up one, and it's something that's usually not attempted as much as you want to attempt. And bad things happen to that one or two. And in this case, we did two, and it might not have been.
We did two and not one. We did two, and that's about as high as I can count.
Been attempted before, but we did. And we had great talent, but we got a little luck too, I would say.
With a little luck. If I wish we would have a little luck. If we would have had a little luck, something would have happened a few inches over to the right.
And
left.
We were helped by a lot of people,
Left.
a lot of great people. And it was an honor to be involved with it.
Yeah, he was involved in it. Yeah, he said, go save them. I don't know how to do it, but you do it. Go save them.
Very historic. This is a rescue that's very historic. It'll go down in the books. Late Thursday night, an American F-15 fighter jet went down deep inside it.
It went down deep, not like something I can do. Just ask Stormy Daniels about how deep I go. It's not very.
Enemy territory in Iran while participating in Operation Epic Fury, where we're doing unbelievably well, well at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
Take a drink, everyone.
The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night.
Why should this night be different than all other nights? Wait, I shouldn't be quoting Judaism around Pete. Pete's not going to be comfortable with me quoting the Jews.
Both members of the crew ejected from the aircraft and landed alive. On Iranian soil, I immediately was asked to make a decision. I ordered the U.S. Armed Forces to do
What decision is there? You fucking do it.
whatever was necessary.
Look, if there's anything that was a valid thing to do over in Iran right now, it's to go save the people who got shot down. Like, that is a valid thing. Like, I'm not going to complain that they went and sent people to go save people who were downed. Like, that's not a bad thing to do, and I'm not going to complain if they save one of our military's lives, or two. But, you know, everything else is shit about this whole operation, but at least that was something. And it stopped clocks and all, right?
Necessary to bring our brave warriors back home. A risky decision, because we could have ended up with 100 dead as opposed to one or two.
Yeah, in spite of Donald Trump's ineptitude, they managed to actually pull it off successfully.
It's a hard decision to make, But in the United States military,
is it a hard decision? He's sitting Pistol Pete's going, yes it is, I agree with you, sir. But no. Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be a hard decision at all.
we leave no American behind. We don't do it.
We don't leave any Americans behind. Oh, I don't think I said that right.
Within hours, our armed forces deployed 21 military aircraft into hostile airspace, many flying at very low altitude, being shot by bullets.
As opposed to being shot by arrows or being shot by, like, pop bottle rockets or any other thing that might shoot them.
You bring rifles into play when you're going that low, but there are also certain advantages. And in broad daylight over Iran for 7 hours, at times facing very, very heavy enemy fire. We have a helicopter that's got a lot of bullets in it. It's amazing.
Like no one's ever seen so many bullets. You've never seen so many bullets in a helicopter. Not once.
Just realized how good those weapons are. Those our machines are. Nobody has the equipment that we have, and nobody has the military.
That's a very good point. I think someone else said it over there in Twitch too, but it's a very good point, Remixtress. If they would have captured Trump, they would have been disowned. Remember, he doesn't like soldiers who get captured. His words, not mine. That's what he said. 100% amen. Hallelujah on that. He absolutely would have not called them heroes. And if he would have, I wonder if old Meghan McCain would have come in and said, "Excuse me?" But, you know, she's up his ass now too, anyway, apparently. And I can't imagine. That's one of the other people who fucking betrayed her family by defending Trump.
Military that we have, not even close. We're the most powerful military anywhere in the world by far. The flight crews and warfighters aboard those aircraft took extraordinary risks.
Again, what is the fuck with the have we ever used the term warfighters for our military prior to him being president? Like, I mean, I'm sure that's old Pete Kegg's death in there, you know, with the whole renaming of shit.
To rescue their fellow service members. This first wave of search and rescue forces successfully located the pilot of the F-15, and he was
let's skip forward for that
rather
part.
profusely, treated his own wounds, and like we were right on top of him. We had 7 different locations. That's a long time when you're in tough shape and when you're bleeding. Spending another 4 hours there, taking it off. Commander-in-Chief, I never forget the extraordinary risk taken by the warriors that we send into battle and the genius. I mean, think of it, having a contingency of 3 planes waiting because we think the sand is so bad that we probably won't be able to take off. And the planes really got bogged. The sand this was not much of a runway.
What is he gonna start turning into Darth Vader now? Anakin Skywalker? I don't like sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
It was a farm, not a runway. It's a farm, but
And old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm, he had all sorts of animals like no one's ever seen, E-I-E-I-O. With covfefe here and covfefe there.
it did the trick. But to have a contingency as opposed to having to wait 2 days, can you imagine?
Contingency is a very big word for Donald Trump to be saying. I have to give him a little bit of applause for that. You know, saying the word and saying it correctly, too. Wow.
Right in the middle. This was central. This was right.
All right, let's skip
Remember
ahead
the
again.
U.S. Armed Forces involved in these historic operations. They really were historic. It's just not something that's done. As you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. Then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker.
And it got me very excited when they said somebody leaked, because I thought they were coming to give me a special treat, a special shower, if you will, because this is the golden shower age of America.
We're looking very hard to find that leaker, and talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail.
Give me the leaker. I want to be leaked on all over the place.
And we know who, and you know who we're talking about, because some things you can't do, because when they
Iran will get to toll the Hormuz Strait and recoup all their infrastructure. And what? And Trump's gonna be like, someone needs to go back to town and get us a shit full of dimes.
They did that. All of a sudden, the entire country of
Shitload.
Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land that was fighting for his life. And it also made it much more difficult for...
Yeah, Jennifer, exactly. They're just going to let everyone except the U.S. through. Exactly.
the pilots. And
Yes, very good. CRL 3232. Appreciate somebody acknowledging the reference.
for the people going in to search for him, all of it.
Josh Tees, how do we know for sure if anyone was rescued? Very good point. I mean, they say that people were rescued. Again, why do we believe anything that comes out of this administration? A lot of the times when we talk about things, we have to be like, assuming it's true, it would be a decent thing. But again, he could lie about the shit. And how would we know?
All of a sudden, they know that there's somebody out there. They see all these planes coming in. It became a much more difficult operation because a leaker leaked that we have one. We've rescued
And you better stop now. I'm getting excited all the times I'm saying leaker. Don't get me too riled up.
one
All right.
alive, and we're waiting, and we're saying, I hope that one can land and take off. The CIA was unbelievable. And you may, if you can, you'll talk, it might be classified, in which case I'd have to put him in jail if he talks about it. And I don't want to put him in jail. He doesn't deserve that. So, John, do you want to say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a privilege to be here with you today to share what we can about this exceptional mission and to recognize the ingenuity and bravery of those who
Let's skip
executed
ahead
it.
to all
Thank you
pistol
for the
Pete.
collaboration of the CIA as well. Incredible and ongoing partnership.
Well, what was that little sniff there? Was he partying with Don Jr. before the press conference? I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, and especially the brave warriors in our armed forces, over this Easter weekend, the United States military has once again proved why we possess the greatest fighting force the world has ever known.
Thank you, Susie, for the follow over on
In
Twitch.
two extraordinary combat search and rescue operations deep inside enemy territory in Iran, our warriors executed missions of breathtaking skill, courage, and precision.
I mean, we are the strongest military in the world and the most capable military in the world. We should be able to handle the rescue of two people of our armed forces who, you know, were downed in combat. I mean, nobody should be surprised that this happened. I mean, sure, if it actually did happen, celebrate, you know, the fact that two of our soldiers are alive in spite of Donald Trump's ineptitude, but still. Let's skip ahead a little bit because I think there's more to this.
The first
than I
of
wanna
two
go over.
was an audacious daylight thunder run right up the middle. It was authorized in less than 2 hours from that pilot going down when we knew where he was. And it was authorized in the middle of the night because anybody that's worked for this man knows he's up in the middle of the night. Authorized immediately, without hesitation, audaciously.
And that's the new word, audacious, of the day. It's just up there, but it's not as good as exactitude.
The second mission, as soon as we knew where that pilot was, and John was certainly helpful in that, also executed immediately. You know, I looked up at my screen when the final mission was complete inside our skiff, our secure facility. Today will be the largest volume of strikes since day one of this operation. Tomorrow, even more than today. And then Iran has a choice. Choose wisely, because this president does not play around. You can ask Soleimani, you can ask Maduro, you can ask Khomeini. To those heroes who planned and executed these rescues, your nation stands in awe. I stand in awe. The chairman stands in awe. We all stand in awe of your
Aww.
professionalism and bravery. We serve for you. You embody the very best of America. To the rescued airmen and their families, welcome home. Your courage and endurance, the quiet declaration of faith amid the storm inspires us.
Who, again, why? Just, you don't have to, anybody, when you throw, you know, Jesus around all the time, it lessens, you know, the message, I would think. Like, you plaster Jesus on your shirt and on your walls and on the this and on the that. like on everything possible. The louder you are, the less I believe that you're actually of somebody of faith.
All. God is good every day. And to our adversaries, watch.
I'm surprised Donald Trump doesn't get jealous of them saying that God is good. It was like, God's all right, but you gotta love Donald Trump more. That's the most important thing. Trump, God, country.
From Tehran, let this be a clear message. The United States military will go anywhere, at any time, to protect our own and complete the mission.
You protect our own, who shouldn't have been there in the first place because it's a needless and unnecessarily reckless war.
We execute with precision. We control the skies. You see, we flew for 7 hours.
We control the horizontal. We also control the vertical. We control everything. But we still got shot down. I don't know how that happened, but, you know, good thing they didn't get captured. Otherwise, I'd have to talk badly about them to be consistent.
In daylight over Iran to get the first pilot. And we flew 7 hours in the middle of the night to get the second. And Iran did nothing about it. We fight with honor. And under President Trump's leadership, we win. So God.
Fight with honor, huh? Is bombing a kid's school fighting with armor? Is threatening to take out the infrastructure that gives you power, take out bridges, and to remove the ability to have clean water? Is that fighting with honor? War crimes are not fighting with honor, you piece of shit.
God bless our troops. God bless President Trump. And God bless.
Yes, I don't have a hegseth. I don't have a hegseth yet. I'm just doing Trump. I'm just doing Trump's voice just to be the background of hegseth. Just, you know, just as if he was, you know, back there. I don't know if Trump is holding hegseth strings or if hegseth really controls Trump strings or if they both reach around and grab the strings of each other.
Oh my.
Anyway, let's continue.
The United States of America. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. A note before I start, I know many of you want specific details in these briefings.
But you can't get it.
We will share what we can, but I will retain what I must in the event that we have to go do this again sometime. And I cannot stress the importance, as the President said, around operational security.
Yeah, except for when President Trump violates operational security. You know, let's I think there's a point where Trump gets back up there. Let's just go ahead and fast forward to that.
Agency partners, the leadership at CENTCOM, and our leaders at the department and above, thank you. I'm proud of each and every one.
In my first term, because he was able to take out ISIS in 4 weeks instead of the 4-year projection that was given to me by other much lesser generals. And I said, you know, if I ever do this again, that's going to be the head of my Joint Chiefs of Staff. And we worked it that way, didn't we? It's amazing. He took out ISIS. We defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. I was told it would take 4 years. I flew to Iraq to find out with the greatest equipment in the world, why would it take 4 years? And he told me, sir, it...
The extras. When hegseth gets pulled, I thread a drunk officer, I'm not God. Exactly. Very slurred, too.
Won't. It'll take...
I guess when I do Keg's breath or Keg's death or whatever you want to call him, I should just, you know, talk in a slurred, like, you know, like I'm half, you know, 3 sheets to the wind, so to speak, right?
4 weeks and you'll have time left over. And that's exactly what happened. So he's great. And Pete, all I can say is that he was treated very unfairly. And now those same people that treated him unfairly, that fought against him, they called me up saying, what a great choice he was.
No, nobody's saying that, sir. Nobody's saying that. It's just your imagination, your delusions in your head, the voices in your head, if you will, are just saying that out loud.
They said, well, what happened during his nomination? What happened to you? I'm telling you, it's people that were not for him, senators, friends of mine. Sir, I don't think you're doing the right thing. Now they're calling me up. What a choice. These two guys are fantastic. And John Ratcliffe.
Fantastically terrible.
It was incredible. It was actually their genius that called us from, it was 40 miles away. And he said, you know, we're seeing something moving up in the mountain. This is at night. And they kept the camera on him for 45 minutes. He wasn't moving, and they said, you know, probably wrong, but we're seeing something moving. This is a vast mountain.
It was moving in the mountains, but it wasn't moving, but it was moving. Who knows?
Vast, thick, with bushes, trees. He said, we see something move.
What do you see? Bushes and trees. Was the sack of suds there too?
40 miles away. It was the head of a human being, I'm telling you. It's moving. And then all of a sudden...
Just the head?
45 minutes.
What were they doing? What was the head doing if it was just the head moving?
Oh my.
Minutes later...
Is that what his head was doing with old Bill, right?
He moved a lot. Stood up, and they said, we have him. And that was really the beginning of something incredible. We had an idea where he was, but not specifically. That's a big mountain. So I want to thank the CIA, too. I don't think they get enough credit for the great job they've done. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for this great opportunity. Country...
Allow me to kiss your ass.
It has super army. You make a difference, Mr. President. Thank you for your greatest leadership.
Thank you.
I have two quick questions, Mr. President. What was your reaction when you learned that Kurdistan region had resumed exporting oil to the international market with your support as United States of America?
Well, I expected that. We've gotten along with the Kurds for a long time, so I expected that.
Another question, what would be your reaction if the Iranian people rise up against their regime during a ceasefire, Mr. President?
Well, they should.
Ceasefire? I mean, you know, I understand English is not his first language. I mean, did they feed him those questions, though? Did they want somebody with an Iranian accent to be able to come in and you know, ask those questions to praise Donald Trump, you know, to make him, you know, make it seem like, you know, they're supporting him and they support his actions of threatening to bomb the shit out of Iran into the Stone Age? I mean, if you followed wrestling back in the 80s, you know, it sounded a lot like the Iron Sheik right there.
Do it, but again, the consequences are great. I mean, they were told, if you protest, you will be shot immediately. You saw what happened to the young wrestler. He was a great champion, by the way. He was a great wrestler, one of the top in the world. And
not as good as the Iron Sheik, but still good.
He and his two friends were hung.
And they was right.
And all they did was say a little bit about liberty. They wanted liberty, and they were violently executed. But the number is up to probably 45,000 people were killed. So, you know, when somebody stays
11 billion people were killed
in a house, when they know if they walk out of the house to protest, they'll be immediately shot and killed. And they issued that, you know, that was publicly issued. It's not a secret. That's why so many people say, oh, well, why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You know, we got...
And we took care of that last year, didn't you? Supposedly? Guess you didn't. You know, again, that's all Large Marge is the one that said that's the same lie over and over and over again to justify our actions over there.
Regime change, we do. We're dealing with a much different regime than before. We're dealing with different people.
But I thought this wasn't about regime change, right? You know, that's what they said at first. But, you know, obviously they lied because it's the Trump administration and they lie.
They're smarter. I think they're sharper.
They're smarter and they're sharper, but he's still threatening to bomb the shit out of them.
And far less radical. We have regime change, but we didn't do this for regime change. We did it for the fact, and my view was very simple. I saw somebody said, oh, he doesn't have a plan. I have the best plan of all, but I'm not going to...
Nobody has better plans than me.
They tell you what my plan is. You know, they want me to say, here's my plan. We're going to attack at 9:47 in the morning, and then we're going to do this.
Watch us actually be doing that. Watch that's actually the actual plan that we'll attack at 9:47 in the morning, and Pete Hegseth is just like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
And if you don't do that, they say, I have a plan. These people know what the plan is. Everybody here knows what the plan is. But it's very unfair to say, because I don't mind.
Hey, Negro, when was this? Today. This was today.
I'm being insulted. I've been insulted for many years by the by the fake news, but you can't.
The lamestream media, the fake news insults me, and I'm gonna shut them down because I can't take a joke if it's at my expense. I mean, if you're watching the whole Daredevil series, the new Daredevil Born Again series on Disney Plus, they don't sponsor me, but you know, a lot of what's going on seems very, very similar to what's going on in America right now with Kingpin and Trump.
It's so bad for people that are so you just saw two great and John Ratcliffe, three unbelievable people. They have a
2 great and 3, 4 maybe 5 or 6 or 7, like the kids say. The kids love that 6, 7
plan. Every single thing has been thought out by all of us. But I can't reveal the plan to the media. So, you know, but we're just...
He can just reveal it to Russia. That's what he'll reveal it to. He'll reveal it to Russia. He'll reveal it to all the other dictators that he loves. He just won't reveal it to the media. But he'll reveal it to Russia.
Thrilled by the success of this operation. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering, they would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians...
They would be willing to die for freedom. I mean, that's like... Many of you will die, and that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. Was that Lord Farquaad?
And we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing.
They say, sir, please keep bombing, sir, because everyone calls me sir.
Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back. These are the people.
I don't believe you one fucking bit, old Trumpy boy.
I don't know what they do. All I can tell you is they want freedom. They have lived in a...
They want the freedom to live in the sand, and I'll make the sand into glass by nuking it, maybe.
World that you know...
Yeah, exactly. They have no communication, but they're telling him to keep bombing, right?
Nothing about.
Well, somebody's probably telling him that that's what they're saying, so he believes that, right? Is that the thing? They're probably saying, look at all these Iranians. They're saying, keep bombing us, please, sir. Bomb us, bomb us. It's like, oh, well, I'll bomb them then. Well, I mean, a lot of people apparently have have Trump's phone number, right? Lord Broomer?
It's a violent, horrible world where if you protest, you are shot. Remember...
Didn't he want to shoot protesters during his first term? Isn't that what he wanted? Protesters in this term got shot by ICE. Renee Nicole Good, Alex Preddy. Protesters who got shot. Yeah, fuck off, you liar.
The great woman protests where they had 400,000, 500,000 women, and they were all enthused, and they were going to protest, and everybody said, oh, the regime's going to come to an end. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, 5, 6 different areas. A woman would go down right between the eyes. They had snipers. They had 5 snipers. That's all it took. And those 400,000 or 500,000 women said, oh my God, what's that? Oh, look over there. What's that? A woman shot right between...
How is he not sundowning right there? I mean, how is this not an example of sundowning? How is this not an example of him completely showing the entire world that he's lost his ever-loving fucking mind?
The eyes. And after...
And unfortunately, they didn't get shot in the ear like me because I have a magical ear that heals magically. I have the magic.
5 or 6 of them go down. Then you start hearing the purr through the vast number of people.
The purr?
And then they said, oh my God, who would do that? And they're incredible people, but they've lived so horribly. They've lived so horribly. You know, Iran was a great country if you go back 25 years ago or so. The Persian people, they're incredible, smart, brilliant, actually.
What happened to the, doesn't he use the 47? What happened to the 47 years ago? Did that just go out the window or did he forget?
And I know so many. I know coming from New York, originally, I know so many people from Iran. They're incredible people, incredible energy.
Some of my best friends are Iranians.
And very, very brilliant people. And But when you're standing in a group and protesting and you have a woman, in the case of the woman, remember the Great Woman March, everybody was saying, oh, this is the end of the country. And then snipers selectively picked. Every single one was shot right between the eyes from a long distance. They were on top of buildings. Nobody even knew where.
Is that how snipers operate there, Donnie Boy? Did you learn that today in you know, your briefing with, you know, coloring books?
They were, where they coming from? This wasn't like a machine gun, which is also very bad. They've done that too. They did that recently. This was snipers sitting on the top of buildings, aiming and hitting women. And when they see people go down and all of a sudden there's a riot in the reverse direction, and they never came out again. And a lot of them.
I mean, you just need this right here as any real patriotic American who takes their oath to the Constitution in this country seriously would see this and be like, it's time for the 25th Amendment. But we don't have loyal Americans serving this administration. We have people who are loyal to Trump and Trump only. That's the problem with the 25th Amendment and the people who drafted the 25th Amendment, is that they never imagined the idea of what happens if all of the people feel beholden to the president and refuse to do their constitutional duty as laid out by the 25th Amendment. What happens then? Nothing. And you go down the shitter.
The news doesn't talk about that. They talk about, oh, women.
He cares about women, handy girl. He just cares about them. He wants to be able to have more women that he can grab them by the hoo-ha. That's what he wants.
Women's rights. You want to see women's rights? You're not going to see it there. It's amazing when I see some of the stupid people, like, you know,
when I look in the mirror, that's the stupidest person ever.
AOC +3, all that group. They talk about, oh, freedom for Iran. They don't tell you the real facts. Women, men, gays. How about gays for Iran? They kill the gays. They throw them off buildings. So I wonder what's going on. I can.
Like, as if Donald Trump gives an ever-loving shit about gay people as well.
I can only say this. They want us to keep bombing, even if it jeopardizes, because their life is in much greater danger. They want freedom for Iran, but it's very hard for them to...
Jen, I'd do all of them.
Oh, my.
Hilarious.
The protest. I actually tell them, I said, don't go out. I fully understand. Nobody in this room would go out. I don't think there's any, because frankly, it's not a question of bravery. We're all brave, right? You're brave. I'm brave. We're all brave. But
yeah, Mr. Bone Spurs is brave. Yeah, okay. You keep telling yourself that, Donnie Boy. I'm sure somebody puts a little bib on you and feeds you your ketchup, you know, and your hamburgers or whatever. It's like, that's a brave boy, Donnie. That's a brave boy. You're such a brave boy, standing up to the, you know, bombing the hell out of a school. That's a brave boy.
We're also intelligent. If you have people shooting at you, expert shots with the best rifles you can get,
that no one's ever seen,
and hitting you right between the eyes every single time.
Who's a brave boy? Yes, that's a brave boy.
And you're looking here and you're seeing and you're looking here. You're out of there. I don't care.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with Pete.
Please.
Mark Meredith, Fox News.
I know that.
Oh, thank you.
How would I know that? Go ahead.
America's watching. No.
Good job.
Why is there a pink stool under his chair? Like, is he that short that he needs to stand on a stool?
Can we go back to the weekend? First off, was everyone on board with the operation, or were there people that were trying to talk?
Go back to the weekend. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry.
You out of going through with the operation this weekend?
Not everybody was on board.
Somebody else within
No,
you?
there was military people, very professional, that preferred not doing it. These two were totally on board, which was very important. They weren't, it would have had a little difficulty. But no, there were military people that said, you just don't do this. You don't go into the heart of a very powerful military. You know, this is, hey, you have countries and countries. You have some countries where military is not their strong suit. This whole thing is militarized like nobody's ever seen before. Half the people are wearing uniforms. And we had people within the military. Usually it's not done. That's one of the reasons. You know, I was surprised. Somebody said it's the only time it's ever been done. I said, that's not possible. But it is possible, because you're going into hundreds of thousands of soldiers.
Like nobody knew it. Nobody knew it, but now I knew it. And I'm bringing you the news that nobody knew, but everybody knows.
Along the path. I mean, look at some of the helicopters, how they got hit. So, yeah, there were people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether, approximately, for the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, we are. But I will tell you, the number, I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds. And
so he's not keeping it a secret. It's hundreds. Like, you know, again, violating, you know, whatever security. I mean, this is the guy that shared Iranian attack plans in Bedminster. And, you know, he didn't give a shit about the fact that the documents were classified.
Hundreds of these people, that's pretty good. Is he central casting? But hundreds of people went into this journey. Hundreds of people could have been killed. Forget about the equipment, a lot of equipment, nobody cares. Hundreds of people could have been killed.
I'll just take more money away from daycares to build more planes, because who cares about children learning as long as we can bomb the shit out of people?
So we had people that were within the military that said this is not a wise, and I understood that, but I decided to do it.
Was there a point that that you were thinking there's too much on the line, and somebody was saying maybe we abort this now and wait? I mean, given the resource, like the general said, it seemed like there was so much on the line here. You must have been thinking, well, this could have completely changed.
So the first one, which was in many ways as dangerous as the second, I guess it gets, because we're flying over daylight. You know,
they're flying over daylight. Like, no, they're flying in daylight. They're flying over the sand, over the ground, but they're not over the daylight, you dumb motherfucker.
Best at the world at night. We have goggles that nobody. We have goggles. I've tried them. They're unbelievable.
Like goggles like no one's ever seen. I'm going to keep it a secret, but I'm going to tell you hundreds, hence not keeping secret. Where is loser Julian Castro to ask Trump if he forgot what he literally just said? Of course, you know, had Biden violated operational security.
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, that scream foul play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
I see better with the goggles at night than I see without them during daylight. I mean, daylight today, we have a beautiful day.
If they're night vision goggles, they're supposed to work at night, you dumb piece of shit. Like, come on, man.
See just as well with goggles. In many ways, it's enhanced. So we have the best in the world. So it's much safer.
Like no one's ever seen, except for the people wearing the goggles. They might have seen it.
For us to do it at night, whereas other people, no other country has that capability. They don't have that particular piece of equipment like we do. But when I was told flying and in daylight, I think we flew 7 hours over Iran, and that's a long time.
Well, did you fly or did you ran or you flew? Which one is it?
Unbelievably hostile territory where they have nothing but weapons. We took out their anti-aircraft, which is great. We took out their radar, which is...
We took out their anti-aircraft, except they shot down a plane. And then they took out the AWACS jet. And then they took out this other thing. And then they shot another plane up where somebody had to, you know, land in another country and you know, eject. But, you know, we took out their anti-aircraft, right?
Great. We took out a lot. But they still have... You know, what hit this one was a handheld shoulder missile. Heat-seeking missile. So it's not like...
So they didn't get rid of the anti-aircraft. They have a a shoulder-launched surface-to-air missile. So they didn't get rid of all of the anti-aircraft shit.
You know, they're totally whatever. But
they're totally... You just lost the shit. They're totally whatever. Whatever.
Probably a little luck.
As if... Oh my God, I'm so bugging.
Because you got to get lucky. But they shot it, and it got sucked in right by the engine. But these guys were out of there. They were great. Their timing was great. But no, I was told that this is a very dangerous mission. I understand. They didn't say it's a foolish mission. They said, you know, we're going to be sacrificing hundreds of people do this.
And that's a risk I'm willing to take.
This is I mean, you have tankers that are flying over this area so that because the flight was so long, they had to refuel. It's a very dangerous mission. I just felt it was worth it. If you would have told me that we would have been successful, gotten both, and nobody was even essentially injured, I would have said that would be
Nobody was essentially injured except for the people that were.
Impossible. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome back.
Yeah, exactly, Alyosha. Trump stealing from Clueless. Exactly. Thank you for getting that reference.
Okay, thank you.
Given that you are now dealing, you say, with a more reasonable, less extreme leadership in Iran, what does that mean for the protesters, for the human rights movement in that country after this conflict?
Well, I
What's
think
your
positive.
expectation?
Yeah, if they assume control, if we do something and they assume control, I think it's very positive.
If they assume control, maybe I have to do the pursed lips when I'm talking like Trump as well. Maybe that'll help it even more.
Positive, a big step. I don't think you'd see the radicalization that you have seen.
No, you're going to see the radicalization of people when you frickin' bomb the shit and bomb them back to the Stone Age. That's when you're going to see the radicalization.
In the last, look what happened. I mean, women are being executed because they're not properly clothed, they say. They're not properly clothed, and they execute the women. They shoot them right on the street.
I mean, that never happens in this country. Renee Nicole Good. Excuse me.
No, you have a much different group of people. Now, I'm not saying we are dealing with them. Essentially.
I'm not saying we're dealing with it. I'm not saying we're not dealing with them. I can't tell what the OPSEC is, but I will tell you that we're dealing with them. I'm not going to say it's aliens, but it's aliens.
They have till 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern time. But we are dealing with them. I think it's going well. Mr. Witkoff is here, and JD's involved in the dealing. Mr. Witkoff is sitting right here, and I think it's going fine, but we'll have to see. You have to understand, we've been dealing with these people for 47 years.
Oh, back to the 47. I thought it was 25 years ago that they were great.
I'm standing here with a much more powerful Iran as of a month ago, not anymore. Right now, they are decapitated. But I'm standing here.
But they're like a chicken with his head cut off, running around still, causing trouble.
A month ago with a much more powerful Iran than it was at any point during 47 years.
Like no one's ever seen.
This should have been handled by 7 presidents, a lot of presidents.
Yeah, what happened to old 45? Shouldn't the 45th president of these United States have taken care of it? What was wrong with that asshole?
And those presidents are saying now, every one of them to their friends, we should have done this a long time ago.
They are absolutely not. Fuck off. Stop lying. I guess if he stopped lying, it would be like him stopping breathing.
So it's not
so stop lying.
Something I like doing. It's very dangerous, and we're getting them at the height of their strength. If I didn't terminate the Barack Hussein Obama Iran nuclear deal,
which actually kept tabs on the Iranian weapons program like no one's ever seen.
Would have had don't forget, that was a path to a nuclear weapon. Remember.
It was not.
This. He chose Iran over Israel.
He did not.
Pure and simple. How Israel can.
And again, why you? I'm surprised he didn't say. He chose Iran over America, but no, he's worried about choosing Iran over Israel. I mean, aren't you supposed to be? You're not Israel first. You're America first. I mean, even with the racist undertones of America first, are you? What are you? Israel first now? Fuck off.
Vote for a Democrat is if you're Jewish in New York City or any place else in this country, and how you can vote for a Democrat is
because you're a fucking anti-Semite, you anti-Semitic piece of shit who said crap like you want the people with the yarmulkes counting your money and not the black people counting your money. A doubly bigoted statement. You said that all Jews would be to blame if you lose because of the Jews that vote against you. You are a home to white supremacist, radical, evangelical Christian nationalists who are absolutely not friends of the Jews. They might like Israel existing for their prophecies, but they're not friends to the Jews, and you kiss their ass. That's why we don't like you. People coming up to your rallies wearing shirts praising like what happened in Auschwitz. Like, yeah, no, you are an anti-Semite. fuck you, we don't support you, and we don't support, most of us don't support anti-Semitism. Some of us are useful idiots who believe that they won't go after them as long as they're on the conservative side of the aisle. But no, they're going to come for you second. Or maybe third. They'll come for the Mexicans and then the black people, and then they'll come for the Jews, and no one will be there to come for you and protect you because they got rid of all the other people who might be willing to side with you, you dumb motherfuckers.
Unbelievable, because he chose Iran, a very hostile Iran. Remember when he filled up a 757 with cash, billions of dollars of cash, and he sent it over to them. Then they gave
it was their money.
Gave them tens of billions of dollars.
It was their money, and they were going to get it back, and he just got it back to them a little earlier to have them agree with, you know, the inspectors. And that was a much better way of dealing with the Iranian nuclear threat than bombing the shit out of them back into the Stone Age.
Chose Iran over Israel, and really the Arab world, if you look, because, you know, the other, Saudi Arabia, Qatar.
The other Saudi Arabia? There's two? We have two Saudi Arabias? When did that happen?
UAE. I mean, you take a look. I mean, I can add Kuwait and I can add Bahrain, and you can add others. He chose such an unlikely candidate. Nobody could believe it. Frankly, if you're going to choose between Iraq and Iran, he should have befriended.
What is he blathering about now? Jesus.
Iraq. He went in the exact opposite direction of all thinking, and he made a terrible mistake. But
this is just word salad at this point.
Was a road to a nuclear weapon. And when I terminated that, everyone said, oh, he terminated it. It was one of the best things we ever did because he had a road to a nuclear weapon. And
it's Obama is who he's talking about. But I don't know what he's blathering on about except for the fact that he's trying to convince people that the Iranian plan was bad. And, well, you know, there's an episode about that on Liberal Dan U.
It was a very short-term deal. You know, countries don't do 10-year deals. Countries do hundreds of years. You don't do a 10-year deal. For a country, this isn't, you're a landlord and you're renting a store on a certain street and you give somebody a 5-year or a 10-year lease. This is a country. It was a short-term deal. It was ready to expire. I terminated it before it expired. Took a lot of heat, and it was one of the best things I ever did because he would have had a nuclear weapon. Then he would have had another nuclear weapon.
No. Again, they would have been inspectors in there, would have prevented them from having the nuclear weapons. But, you know, go on with your stupid self.
Had those beautiful B-2 bombers not gone in 8 months ago and obliterated that site. And by the way,
again, if it's obliterated, then you didn't need to do this military action, you dumb piece of shit.
The word is obliteration. CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't complete. It was so complete that they still haven't been able to get it.
But then you still attacked, which I guess CNN was trying to help you out there, bro. They were trying to help you out by trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't completely obliterated, so you had to do it again to make sure it was completely obliterated. No, he's going against the people who were kissing his own ass to try and, you know, point out it's like no one's ever seen it was obliterated, and then we had to do obliteration 2, electric boogaloo.
It was obliteration. But if we didn't hit them, that was a courageous decision, too, because we had all those planes flying in at night with very little cover, unbelievable stealth planes, and they were able to do their job. If we didn't do that, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon at
and you can say it and many, many more times, it's not going to be any more true. It's not going to be true at all.
High level, either one of those two instances, and if they did, in my opinion, I told this to Bibi Netanyahu yesterday, Israel would have been extinguished. Large portions of the Middle East would have been extinguished.
They're not likely to bomb. You know, I mean, I guess if the radicals don't give a shit, that they might not care about the nuclear, cloud that might go over if they don't have a fusion bomb, instead they use a fission bomb or whatever. But yeah, it's fuck off.
Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, or others. And you saw that with thousands of missiles raining down upon them. They didn't think they were going to be hit. They thought they'd be watching us fight. And all of a sudden, UAE got hit by 1,500 missiles. He would have taken them out also.
I thought you took out their abilities to attack. I mean, if you did that, well, how are they being able to attack so much, right?
And they were powerful. If I didn't come along
no one's ever seen
and terminate the Obama deal, which was terrible. The
Oh,
Iran nuclear
Jesus,
deal
enough
was
about the Obama deal.
And secondly, would a new ceasefire include Israel, or would it just be between Iran
I can't
and the
talk
US?
about ceasefire, but I can tell you that we have a active, willing participant on the other side. They would like to be able to make a deal. I can't say any more than that. But they'd like to do it.
You've listed the goals. Excuse me.
Please, go ahead.
You've listed
Thank
the
you, Mr.
goals.
President.
Who you with? Who you with?
My name is Dia Kurda. I'm with the largest Kurdish media outlet, Ruda Media Network. It's based in Iran.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, you said before that you don't want the Kurdish forces to enter Iran and be harmed. Do you still want them to stay away? Or what role do you expect them to play now?
I'd rather have them stay away.
And then,
I'd rather have them stay away because
I'm not like Little Miss Muffet. I don't want Kurds in my way.
I think they bring with them some problems and some difficulties. And I don't think they bring death, I mean, you know, to themselves. But I'd rather have them stay away. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international
Who you with?
law.
Who you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times.
Oh, the failing New York Times. They're fake news. See if he says failing New York Times and fake news.
Are you
failing? The failing.
Yeah, I got it right. Ha ha.
Are you
His
concerned?
circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are
What's
you
going on
concerned
with it?
that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No,
war
not at
crimes?
all. No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective.
Someday, I'm not going to say when because I might want to stay for a couple more terms. They'll weaken at Bernie's me if they have to.
Which possibly that will happen because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran.
Again, that 45th president really fucked it up, didn't he?
We're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are tough, smart, and sick, really sick, from a policy statement.
He can't say ideological. He can't say ideological. Now I can't say it because I'm too busy laughing at him saying ideological. Jesus Christ, man. Wait, what is it?
I said, well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Standpoint, from a standpoint, any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think.
Yeah, people who want to do war crimes are mentally disturbed people too, but notice he's not answering the fucking question.
I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon.
But attacking the nuclear weapons production facilities that they may or may not have had still after them being obliterated, has nothing to do with attacking the power plants and the bridges. You dumb motherfucking dodging piece of shit asshole.
You can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
It means violating international law.
Quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times. Because the New York Times said, Trump won't win the election, and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times said, Trump won't win the election. New York Times has no credibility. The credibility they have is it used to be all the news that's fit to print. The old gray lady, it was great, but they're running on.
And I don't like old ladies, I like them young.
Past fumes, and you can't keep doing that. You have to be able to give the correct news. And people like...
you're dodging the question, so, the news is going to be Donald Trump dodges questions as to whether or not bombing bridges and power plants are a war crime.
Like you, who I know, are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages. Right. And we've heard a range of those kind of messages. So which is it? Are you winding this down or are you escalating it?
I can't tell you. I don't know.
I gotta keep them guessing, keep them on their toes. I love keeping people on their toes because that's the only way that I can get away with all of my shit.
I can't tell. It depends what they do. This is a critical period. They have a period of, well, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days, right? I said...
I threw in the 8-1 for free. I gave them a deal. I'm the art of the deal guy. I gave them a deal. I'll give them 7 days. I get the 8th one for free.
Steve, give them 10 days. 10 days is up actually today, so I gave them 11, I guess, indirectly. I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter. I want to be a nice...
Yeah, it was appropriate on Easter Sunday to, threaten to, commit war crimes and, use curse words and everything in your official post about what you're going to do, about the threats to Iran and, threatening your war crimes. But, it's not okay to actually follow through with your war crimes until Tuesday.
This person, they have till tomorrow. Now we'll see what happens.
The bombs will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be bombs. Right? Is that what he's saying?
I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries.
If they're negotiating with you, like if you're negotiating, why the hell are you going to, ramp up the rhetoric? Like, again, this is supposed to be the art of the deal guy.
That want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are affected by this, but we're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And after that,
I'm going to bomb the ever-loving shit out of them.
They're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah.
Again, war crimes.
Stone Ages. CNN fake news.
Are you willing to make a deal that does not include reopening the Strait of Hormuz, or is that now a top priority?
I would say it's a very big priority because, see, that's one thing that's...
It's a top priority, even though I've said we don't care about it because we don't use it. But we do care, but we don't. But we do, but we don't.
A little different than other things. We can bomb the hell out of them. We can knock them out for a loop. But to close the strait, all you need is one terrorist that somehow has a truck loaded with, because you can carry them in trucks, large trucks, a water mine. Drop them in the water.
A water mine.
And now you tell people that own ships that cost $1 billion to don't worry about the mine. You can do that even just by saying we put mines in the water. So it's not like the rest. We can knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days.
But, they're still hitting back and they're still attacking and they're still, killing people and injuring people and maiming people and destroying our fancy aircraft and all that other shit. But,
Days. We've knocked out even their mine droppers.
Jeff Curry, large trucks bad, okay?
They don't have any mine droppers anymore, but they put them on other boats and they could drop them.
They don't have mine droppers, but they can put them on other boats and then drop them from other boats. But don't question my logic, because it's sound.
I'm not even sure they have any mines there, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none, because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents, and they haven't done the job. And people are living...
He's so presidential, isn't he?
...in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell.
The Rantler, his life grade over question, what are mine? When I hear mine, it's mine. Like, I'm not talking about the mines, I'm saying it's all mine, because I want the whole thing.
No, I think that 47 years of this stuff is long enough. They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft.
They probably do, and I don't believe anything you fucking say, and I'm going to automatically believe that everything you fucking say is a fucking lie.
Weaponry, they have no radar, they have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve...
And if people just bemoan about how they can't communicate, the very least they can do is to shut up.
What are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication.
Maybe if if Republicans didn't fucking fire people who could speak, Arabic, maybe they'd be able to fucking communicate. It's not that they can't communicate, it's that we fire all the people because we think having, people who can, speak the language other than English is woke or whatever bullshit. Like, that's how you weaken the military, by weakening our ability to negotiate. They don't want to negotiate, though. They just want to bomb the shit out of people because they're a bunch of bloodthirsty, evil motherfuckers.
So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication. But all I want to see is I want to have a safe world. And you're not going to have a safe world. Israel will be gone. The Middle East will be gone. And then they're coming for Europe. And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO. Very. I think that NATO, it's a
paper tiger. Russia's not afraid of them. They're afraid of me. Well, then Russia's not afraid of you, because if Russia was afraid of you, you'd actually be able to have solved the Ukrainian problem on day one. Russia, Vladimir Putin specifically, knows that you are his bitch.
Mark on NATO that will never disappear in my mind. They're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things,
But I will hold a grudge to the end of time because they didn't help me in my war, even though that's not the responsibility of the NATO treaty.
But they said it loud and clear at the beginning. When I spoke to UK of all, I would have said they would have been the first because they're the oldest. And I say, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no.
I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Could it be anybody? Sorry.
So we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work.
I thought we were the strongest, most powerful military in the world. Why would we need help? You talk about how great our military is, especially under you. We wouldn't need help. Why do you need help now before then? We don't need help now, right? I mean, are you admitting that we need help? That way you're admitting that our military is somehow incapable of doing the job that you were asking them to do? Is that what you're saying there, old Trumpy boy? Eh?
I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them. We have, in terms of technology, we had one day 100.
Oh, here comes the ramblings of a unhinged a-hole.
And 1 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour, aimed at the Abraham Lincoln. 101 missiles.
It's like 101 Dalmatians. They were spotted just the same. They called me Cruella de Vil because I wanted to kill the puppies. That's why I hired Kristi Noem to kill the puppies.
101 missiles. 101 missiles were shot down. Unbelievable technology. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know if that would have been possible, but 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been.
It's almost like technology advances over time. Oh, wow.
That wouldn't have been possible. 101 missiles heading to a ship that's not that far off the coast. And out of the 101 missiles, we shot down all 101.
We get it. You shot down 101 missiles. I don't believe that you did because, you're a lying son of a bitch. But, hey, we get it. We get it. You don't have to repeat it 17,000 more times.
Weaponry. The Patriots are unbelievable. We have
like no one's ever seen.
Weaponry. That's unbelievable, yeah.
Just to clarify.
Go ahead, please. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said earlier today during the egg roll that you would like to take Iran's oil, but Americans want U.S. forces home.
Correct.
What's that trade-off?
If I had my choice, yeah, because I'm a businessman first.
He's a businessman first, y'all. You heard it there. He's not president first. He's a businessman first. I mean, he's a failed businessman, and, he utilizes bankruptcies to profit himself while shortchanging other people, but he's not the president first. He's a businessman first. That's the not so quiet part out fucking loud.
With Venezuela, As you know, the war was over in about 45 minutes. And we have great people running Venezuela, very good people. I mean, the relationship is good. And
they're terrified that I'm going to take them out too. That's why I'm taking their oil and they're not complaining.
We are a partner with Venezuela. And we've taken hundreds of millions of barrels.
JD Christie, and then everyone clapped for me. Or is it, and then everyone clapped for me? Or is it, and then everybody gave me the clap? Which one is it? I don't know.
Hundreds of millions. Over 100 million barrels already is in Houston, refined and out. And paid for that war many, many times over. Many times over. You know, the old...
Like no one's ever seen.
...days, to the victim. Okay? You know that. To the winner belong the spoils.
To the victim goes the spoils? Is that what he was trying to say? To the victim goes the spoils, and now he couldn't say it right, so we had to change it to the winner goes the spoils? Yeah, you're a dumb motherfucker.
Go the spoils. And I've said, why don't we use it? To the victor go the spoils. And we don't have that. We haven't had that in this country probably in 100 years, because even the Second World War...
But we already knew. Anybody who paid attention to this motherfucker back in 2016 knew that he wanted to go over places and seize people's oil. So clearly, people are asking him now, are you really serious about taking Iran's oil? He said it in 2016 that he wanted to go to the Middle East and kill the people and take their oil. He said it back then. You know, the only time to believe Donald Trump is when he says that he wants to do terrible shit. Because that's when he's being blatantly honest.
You look at the Second World War. We didn't have it with the Second World War. We helped rebuild all those countries. We rebuilt Germany. How about Germany telling us,
we should have taken over all of Europe and made it the 51st state?
Germany telling us that, well, it's not their war. We had nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go and tell them everything I was doing. We didn't know anything about it. Well, if I would have told them, they would have leaked it.
Because you're not their ally, because you've ruined our relationships with other foreign powers. Maybe a person who actually valued our allies overseas would be able to have conversations and with what's going on, and they wouldn't leak it because they would be like, oh, okay, you're a friend of ours, so we're not gonna, snitch. But because you're a piece of shit and you threaten to, take Denmark's property and you threaten to break up NATO and you want to give Vladimir Putin more power, yeah, they're not going to view you in a kind way.
And we wouldn't have been nearly as successful, possibly, right? But to the victor belong the spoils. So we haven't heard that in, I think, maybe...
And I'm going to bring back everything. We also haven't heard many other things that I'm going to bring back. Like Jim Crow. What's wrong with Jim Crow? I knew him when he was James. Such a good guy. We should bring back that too.
Hundreds of years. Now with Venezuela, and just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished...
Like, you're polling well here? I mean, again, I don't believe you, but...
With this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will...
I'm good at language. I'm the best at language. Nobody has better words than me. I'm so good at language. I mean, good at language. You're good at nothing, my dude. You're good at nothing. But look, if you're really polling that well, why don't you do us all a favor and move over there now and start your term early? And they'll be more than happy to give you citizenship. They'll be more than happy to take you in, and then you could be head of Venezuela and not of this country, and you can go fuck off, and we can cheer with you gone.
Go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president, but we're very happy with the president-elect that we have right now. The people that are...
Is it a president-elect, or is it just the vice president who became the president because you went in there and snatched the other one?
Running it. If you remember Bush with Iraq, they fired the generals, they fired the police, they fired the people that worked in their equivalent of the White House. They fired everybody. And you know what they had? They had a mess. And you know what happened?
They fired everybody. They fired the generals. They fired everybody, and they had a mess. What are you doing now with your administration there, bucko? You're not learning from history because you're doing what they did in Iraq to our country. And then we're going to have a mess.
ISIS formed. Those generals and those soldiers got together, the police got together, they all got together, they formed ISIS. Not going to happen with us. So,
oh, it's going to be much worse with when you bomb the shit out of, you know, Iran, and you create millions and millions of people who are pissed the fuck off at you and will do nothing, will stop at nothing to, you know, harm us because you're a stupid piece of shit.
Venezuela has been an incredible, it's been an incredible situation. We went in, we were very successful.
It's an incredible situation. It's incredible like no one's ever seen.
Successful military power like nobody's ever seen. The general, Venezuelan general said, I was on that site. I said, I've never seen ferocity like that. I've been doing this for 40
He left out the sir? Oh no, what, why, how could he leave out the sir?
40 years, he said, I've never seen it. They hit us from 17 different, they were all set. They saw that big, beautiful aircraft carrier, the Ford in that case, and planes were pouring off it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So typically when you see that late at night,
they had the special goggles to be able to see it at night. They're fantastic goggles. No one has better goggles. And they were able to use the goggles to see the planes taking off.
you know, you could be in trouble, right? And we were all ready. They had their equipment. It was Russian. And they had Chinese equipment. It was all set. They were going to give us a fight. He said, and then they came. And they came at speeds like we've never seen. And they came at 17 different angles. The general and his people, that was a lot of angles. They hit him from every angle.
Nobody has better angles than me.
He said, we knew it was over in 3 minutes. We were waiting for him.
And that's much longer than I took with Stormy Daniels because she knew it was going to be over in 45 seconds or less.
Oh my.
Their equipment didn't work, and there's a reason it didn't work. Someday we'll explain that to people. They pressed the button, nothing happened. They pressed it again and again, nothing happened. And he said, we knew this whole thing was over in 3 minutes. We've never seen any, he used the word ferocity. The ferocity of these planes from 17 different angles, and it was over. They went inside, and remember that.
Are you sure it wasn't 18? I love the number 17. I wish I could have more 17 in my life. Maybe I should make the age of consent 17 because then I'll be able to have him even younger than I did. Right? I mean, you know, because, you know, Epstein. And all of this is a distraction from Epstein on top of, you know, him being a greedy motherfucker.
I was on a military base with thousands of soldiers. And those soldiers looked and they said,
Big Hook, Frank Drebin from Police Squad with Naked Gun was more competent than this idiot. No truer words have ever been spoken there, Big Hook.
get the hell out of here. Thousands. We didn't have thousands. We had like 200 people. So we have a great military.
Like no one's ever seen.
And I'll tell you what, somehow this rescue captured the world's attention, more so than normally. You're talking about 2 people. But this rescue captured the world's attention.
They probably, oh, who's a good boy for rescuing the 2 troops? Yes, you did such a good job. You did such a good job. Here's a cookie, Donald.
But we did it in Venezuela. That was amazing. And now we have a very bad man in prison and going to trial. I mean, he released, aside from the drugs, which he was terrible, Maduro released hundreds of thousands of people from jails into our country. Drug dealers,
Yeah, no,
murderers, the worst people in the world were
I thought it was Mexico that sent us the worst of the people in the world, not Maduro.
released into our country because we had a stupid president who probably didn't know, and we had a border czar who never went to the border and never once called our great Border Patrol agents, right? Not once, Kamala. She never called the Border Patrol. She never said, how we doing? I used to call the Border Patrol guys every day. You can ask them, Paul, ask any one of them.
All of them. He's spoken to all of the Border Patrol agents. Every single one of them he's talked to, right? This is why you know he's fucking lying. Well, you know he's lying because his lips are moving.
Brandon, ask him all the time, how are we doing? How are we doing? And we now, I'm proud to say, have a totally sealed border. 9 months, nobody has come in through our border, and nobody even tried.
No, again, 9 months, nobody has come through our border. Again, there is that lie again. Of course, the administration, under when Noam was last in front of Congress, She reworded that as not nobody crossed over, but nobody has been released who have been captured by the Border Patrol. That's how they changed it. But now he's moved it back to nobody has crossed the border. If you believe that nobody has crossed the border illegally, you're a fucking idiot. Anybody who believes that nobody has crossed this border is a fucking idiot. I don't care who hears it. I don't care if, you're watching this, live or you're watching a clip of this afterwards. If you believe Donald Trump when he says nobody has crossed the border, you are a fucking idiot.
Because I know they're not going to get through. So we don't have caravans anymore. So maybe one or two more and we'll be done.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor. Wait, sorry.
Mr. President, are you allowed to, or are you willing to end this conflict?
Are you allowed? Man, imagine asking Trump if he's allowed. He would be very angry at you. I'm allowed to do anything I want because I'm king. They haven't anointed me yet, but I anointed myself as king of the world.
With Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait.
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are military.
I'm going to charge the tolls, and that's going to keep oil high. I'm going to piss off the drivers, but somehow MAGA will still love me.
Militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us. Your question would have been more accurate if you said us. Go ahead.
So now he's going to bomb him in the Stone Age and then enact tolls, and I'm sure everybody else in the world is going to love that, right?
Just to clarify, in order for Iran to successfully meet your deadline tomorrow, do they have to make a deal, open the strait, or both?
We have to have a deal that's acceptable to me. And part of that deal is going to be we want free traffic of oil.
So you want free traffic of oil, but you literally just said that you want to charge people tolls. You can't have it both ways, you dumb motherfucker. You either charge tolls to cross the strait, to get around the Strait of Hormuz or whatever. You charge tolls, which is not free crossing, or you have free crossings. You can't have both.
Everything
else. Mr. President, thank you very much. You've said glory be to God in this conflict. Do you believe that God supports the United States' actions in this war?
I do, because God is good. Because God is...
God is good. God is great. Thank you, God, for the food I'm about to eat.
Is good, and God wants to see people taken care of. God doesn't like what's...
God wants to see me bomb the shit of Iran and put him back to the Stone Age. That's exactly what God wants. Because I know, because I'm God. Nobody else is. Worship me. I'm your savior. Donald H. Christ.
Happening. I don't like what's happening. Everyone says I enjoy it. I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy it. These two guys don't enjoy it. People say, oh boy, they're so tough.
If you didn't enjoy it, if you didn't enjoy it, you wouldn't have renamed it or tried to rename it the Department of fucking War.
Like seeing people killed. I've ended 8 wars.
Liar.
Nobody's ever done it. The person who won the Nobel Prize came to me and said, you deserve the Nobel Prize.
Because they were just kissing your ass. You don't really deserve the people who award the Nobel Prize said you don't deserve it. And then you proved why I don't deserve it when you said, now that they don't want to give you the Nobel Peace Prize, I don't want peace anymore. Or something to that effect.
Announced that. When they announced, they said, goes to Maria. She's a great person, really a good person. She said, no, no, no. This is ridiculous. They gave me the Nobel Prize.
But then I got the Eagle from Mike Johnson, and that's even better. All my consolation prizes.
President Trump ended 8 wars. I could go over every one of them, including India and Pakistan, where the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved from 30 to 50 million lives. That makes me much happier than what we're doing right now.
But I will make 93 million lives unbearable, and they won't be able to live when I bomb them back to the Stone Age, but don't pay any attention to that.
Makes me much happier. We have one more to end, by the way.
There one more to end. You technically haven't ended the deal between Israel and Gazans and the Palestinian people. Then you still haven't ended the war that you said you would end on day one, which is the invasion of Russia by Russia of Ukraine.
Okay. President, you called yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that...
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't...
What do you think, sir? You should have put it with sir in it, so that way he might have taken it a little better.
I heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people. Dasha, go ahead.
So we were being ripped off on your first term? Is that what you're saying?
Dasha,
You said that very little is off limits in Iran as far as targeting,
Yeah.
including power plants.
I thought we only had 1 or 2 questions left. Now, what are we at, 5 now after he said 1 or 2? Again, he can't count.
Bridges, you've mentioned those.
Very little is off limits.
Are there certain kinds of civilian targets, though? I'm thinking schools
I don't want
or
to tell you
hospitals
that.
you
I don't want
would
to
say
tell
is
you
off
that.
I'm not going to commit to anything, because when we bomb the hell out of everything, you won't be able to use it against me, even though they will, because they're the lying fake news media.
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen.
You do. You really want it to happen. You're a bloodthirsty motherfucker.
We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. That I don't know how many people are talking about this part. I don't know how many people are talking about this particular part. Is that who's then going to rebuild? He's going to bomb the shit out of Iran, and then he's going to have firms that he and his sons and his other family members have all invested in do the construction over there so they can all make more money off of the death and destruction that they just caused. That's the deal. That's what's going to happen. They're going to use the death and destruction, and by tearing it down and then try and rebuild it back up in his image, put Trump all over everything, and then make billions of dollars in profit off of the tax dollars that are being used to rebuild, when we didn't have to annihilate everything anyway. It could have been done a lot better, and it didn't need to be done at all, because again, as Marjorie Taylor Greene said, needless war.
And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants, which are among the most expensive thing, and bridges. You saw the bridge. The bridge went. We were very close to a deal. And then I got a call from...
Tehran Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. My fair mullah.
Mr. Witkoff, Mr. Kushner, and J.D. saying, I think they're breaking the deal. I said, tell them...
Breaking the deal, breaking the deal. Sorry.
That's okay, don't worry about it. But tell them to look out their window and watch. And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order, knock out...
The biggest bridge like no one's ever seen.
The biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within 10 minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was over. So...
That bridge was over. I mean, bridges usually go over things, so that actually the bridge was not over anything if you bombed the hell out of it. Like, I would say, does he think, but clearly he doesn't.
So, do I want to do that? No. Do I want to destroy their infrastructure? No. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now...
But we can do it in 5. But I'll make lots of money.
If we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to...
You are very like corn tonight, Lib Dan. Get it? Like corn, corny, which is itself corn. I mean, if I could do it for Atrocious every game, when he wants me to play the other song, I'll play that sound for you, right?
Be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
I question the genius of the United States of America because we've elected you twice.
On NATO, you voiced your displeasure with NATO in the past. Is there a danger to the U.S. not being the de facto of the leader of the alliance, and then other powers within the alliance then getting the decision making when it comes to wars and nuclear weapons?
No, it's not a danger. NATO's, look, we went
Nader? Nader?
to NATO. I didn't ask very strongly. I just said, hey, if you want to help, great. No, we will not help. I said, that's all right. You don't want to help? Because I've always said NATO's a paper tiger.
That's what I said earlier, right? Isn't that what I said earlier?
See, NATO's a paper tiger. Putin's not afraid of NATO. Putin's afraid of us, very afraid of us. And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's...
When he was bending you over an oil barrel, he told you, now I give you permission to say that, you know, I'm afraid of you, but you know that you're my bitch and I will, you know, have you whenever I want. So you can say what you want to make yourself feel better, but, you know, at the end, it's me in it.
The paper tiger. NATO is us. And when we needed them, we didn't need them, by the way.
When we needed them, well, we didn't need them. Did we need them? Make up your mind, dummy.
We didn't need them.
Jackie, Daniel's like, I'm telling you, there's been so many times that the things that I predicted about this president that, you know, I should have so many more subscribers with the amount of times that I've been right about Donald fucking Trump. I predicted he'd name 3 Supreme Court justices. Nobody wanted to fucking believe me. I predicted that Roe v. Wade would be overturned. Nobody wanted to fucking believe me. Like, you know, at some point, maybe more people will realize that I know what I'm fucking talking about here. Like, I don't want to toot my own horn too much because there are also plenty of other people who know what they're talking about, especially Hal and Boston Brian and other folks clearly know also what they're talking about, but I'm right much more than, you know, these motherfuckers, you know, Trump and their bullshit and all the people who believed Donald Trump, because, you know, anybody who believes him is gullible. Would believe that gullible was taken out of the dictionary.
Obviously, because they haven't helped at all. Just the opposite. They've actually gone out of their way not to help. They didn't even want to give us landing strips. Think of it.
And I like someone with a nice landing strip, not like whole... No, wait, that's probably for Liberal Dan After Dark, sorry.
And it's not just NATO. You know who else didn't help us? South Korea didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Australia didn't help us. You know who else?
Well, crikey, we're not going to help you, mate, because you're a fucking moron.
Else didn't help us?
That wasn't a great Australian accent, I'm sorry.
Japan. We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea. We have 45,000 soldiers in...
It's to protect our interests over there. Yes, they happen to be based there, but it's to protect our interest overseas, you dummy.
South Korea.
Yeah, Jackie, you're the OG. Word.
To protect us from Kim Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. Do you notice he said very nice things about me? He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded.
Praise world leaders, said they're strong. Had Biden done it, they'd say he's wrong.
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, that scream foul play.
Oh, we gotta do that. Do the Trump dance. Anyway.
Person, okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible. But to me, he likes Trump. And do you notice how nice things are with North Korea? It's very nice. But
because he can kiss your ass and then you'll let him get away with it, whatever shit he wants to in his own fucking country.
We have 45,000 people, soldiers, in harm's way, and right next to Kim Jong-un with a lot of nuclear weapons. 45, which should have never happened if a certain president, I'm not going to mention this president because I happen to like him, believe it or not, But if a certain president did his job, Kim Jong-un would not have nuclear weapons right now. But they were all afraid.
What, 45?
To do their job properly. But just to conclude and just to finish, Japan didn't help us, Australia didn't help us, South Korea didn't help us, and then you get to NATO, NATO didn't help us. There were some countries that did. Now, countries that have been good, now you could also say they're got to be a little bit more involved because they're in the territory, but Saudi Arabia has been excellent. Qatar has been excellent.
And I love Qatar. They gave me that plane. I love them. I'm a Qatar hero.
UAE has been excellent. Bahrain, Kuwait. I mean, Kuwait did shoot down 3 of our planes. The only planes, really, that we lost with friendly fire, they call it.
Except for the plane with the 2 people that you had to go rescue.
I call it unfriendly fire. They unfortunately didn't know how to use our great Patriots. The pilot said, "What kind of a missile's coming at us?" Patriot. Boom, they got out. Because they know a Patriot never misses. So they had beautiful Patriots.
I can think of 2 who clearly missed.
There were planes heading in their direction. Unfortunately, they decided to shoot those planes. They were our planes. So, NATO is a paper tiger. Now, he's coming to see me on Wednesday, as you know. He's a wonderful guy.
Who? NATO? Does he think NATO is a person?
Secretary General is great.
Oh, the Secretary General of NATO is coming to visit. Okay.
Mark Rutte. He's a great person, but he's got... And you know, it all began with, if you want to know the truth, Greenland. We want Greenland. They don't want to give it to us, and I said, bye-bye. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much for joining me for my shit show of a press conference. Like no one's ever seen. It's a shit show like nobody has ever seen, ever, ever, ever. Okay, so here's the thing. Before I open up I'm not going to open up the phone lines for political talk. What I will do is I will open up the phone lines for if you want to wish Cassie a get well message. If you want to call in and wish Cassie a get well message, I would love to have you do that so I could record the video and have her hear the liberal Danimals wishing her to feel better, to get well soon, etc. Say whatever nice things that you would want to do. I'm not sure exactly how to do it perfectly, simply because of the fact that lots of people might be calling in at the same time, but we will see. So if put your hand up, like raise your hand in the chat if you want to do that. If I can get at least 4 or 5 of the Danimals to raise their hand and say, I will call in and wish Cassie, wish that Cassie feels better, or say something, well wishes to Cassie, I'll open up the phone lines to get that done. I'm not going to have too much longer of a show because I have to wake up in the morning early in the morning to be able to make sure that we can, I can get to work early so I can then get to dealing with my, getting work done and then getting to go visit Cassie in the hospital. So, Steve says, I'm in the UK, mate. I can only send my love. Or I guess the other thing that you could do is, this might actually be easier. This might actually be an easier thing to do. What I'm going to do is I will leave the Do Not Disturb sign on. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the Do Not Disturb sign on. I'm going to put the call-in number in. It should go directly to voicemail if you do. Call in to the voicemail so I can then play the voicemail messages and just, go through the voicemail and just play. And I'll be able to assemble that video for Cassie and make sure it gets done. So that's what I'll probably end up doing. We'll probably just end the show now, and then you can just call in. If for some reason it doesn't work, just maybe you could record a little voice memo and email it to liberaldanradio@gmail.com as well. That's probably the best way to do it. And if you're somebody like Steve from across the pond, and you want to send a voice message,
if it's no Scottish, it's crap.
That's something else that you could do if you wanted to do it that way. Just record a little short greeting, make a little MP3 of yourself, and then send it to liberaldanradio@gmail.com so I could combine all of the sounds into one and play everything. And that would be a nice thing for y'all to do for my wife if you feel like doing it. So, you know, again, one of the things I want to thank each and every one of you for is just simply, you know, at the beginning of this show, I was very distraught, very upset, you know, very, you know, angry. And maybe I was a little more angry at, you know, some of the things Trump was saying over the course of the show because of all the shit that I've been dealing with. But not only have y'all made it possible, you know, to make this show more successful and to start growing and to start being what I think it can be, and it's because of y'all that are helping me do that. I might be like, oh, go comment more, go like more, go share more, but y'all are doing wonderful things for me, and I appreciate it. But another thing that I appreciate is by having the show, and you know, it gave me, you know, 2.5 hours of me being able to just sit here and take my mind off of all of the other shit. Now, granted, I'm taking my mind off of my personal shit and talking about the political shit that's going on. So I mean, it's not it's a shitstorm that's going on in our country too. But you all, you know, making your comments, making me laugh, you know, bringing up good points, having good conversation, interacting with y'all for the last 2.5 hours, you know, was very, very needed on my behalf. So I want to thank each and every one of you for participating in the show. Thank you so much. Again, 562-LIBDN1 is the number. Call in, leave a voicemail message for Cassie, or just send an email message as well. That would be great. And I want to thank again everybody for being a part of Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left. That's right. And we'll be back Wednesday night, same bet, assuming nothing else happens. You know, pay attention to my socials. Liberal Dan Radio everywhere on socials. Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, etc. If for some, I'm here on YouTube. If for some reason I don't have a show on Wednesday for whatever reason, I will let the mods know. I'll let Andrea know so it can be announced during house show, and I'll also make sure to post it on whatever social media channels I can think of. Thank you, JD Christie, for being a liberal Danimal for 2 months. I appreciate you. Again, y'all make this something that's worthwhile doing. I can't thank y'all enough. So hope y'all have a good one. We'll hear a couple of tunes obviously on the way out, and have a great night. Peace.
He said nobody who healthcare could be so complicated. The Obamacare debate was 6 months litigated. Years of med school debt got capitalized. Insurance claim forms so high they nearly capsized. But he wouldn't know the frustration of trying to get prior authorization. Everybody knew, the whole world knew, the doctors, the lawyers, the CBO crew. Oh, 30,000 pages already reviewed. It wasn't a big secret, we knew. He said people don't realize Obama deported, but the porter-in-chief is what La Raza retorted. Obama went after the violent folks and felons, drug nabbed the dishwashers and people picking melons. But that was argument shows that he's not very secret. We knew you unveiled oxygen like contraband air. Flight 6 there. You sat down, claiming to discover chess. War call money was his big surprise. Iraq has oil, can you believe your eyes? He said, we are divided, a surprise to no one thinking. And he was most surprised a Republican was Lincoln. Everybody knew, the whole world knew. The Christians, the Muslims, atheists, and the Jews. Like being shot, they have animals at the zoo. It wasn't a big secret. We knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew.
Obama and Bush's pictures got hidden, obscuring the past, history rewritten, hung in a hallway where no tour can see, confirming his unending fragility. If Trump can't see it, you must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list, object permanence, a milestone missed. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Testing was the line that he said. Hundreds of thousands needlessly dead. Now HHS is run by brainworm quack, hiding the truth behind his back. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list, an administration run by narcissists. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Of documents stacked floor to the wall, top secret folders in a bathroom stall. Charges were pressed but the case was dropped. A corrupt judicial system he can co-opt. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. He'll swear it's fake news, a liberal twist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Encampments downtown, tents lining the street. Invisible people that power won't beat. Hide them away so the cameras can't find it. Proof of a system that's cold and unkind. A payout in secret, an NDA sign, an illegal bribe. Michael Cohen fine. Trump got fined too over his gag order, but she didn't gag, cause he was much shorter. It must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. We can't let him win, we must resist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist.
They wrote it in the laws, ink still bleeds. Treating women like soil, just planting seeds. She's gone, brain dead, not even awake. But the state's got a claim, gonna plant its stake. Say it's God's will, say it's life they protect. But they ain't the ones feeling pain or neglect. From Texas to Georgia, they set the trap. Rights rolled back while they smile and clap. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. This ain't pro-life, it's control and shame. They don't care if she's gone, just playing a game. Keep her hooked to machines, cold and still, just a vessel to them, not a human with will. No consent, no voice, no chance to resist. Just laws in place, written with a clenched fist. Hospitals scared, judges playing God. Bodies ain't temples, just stay on pods. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey, mega fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Bands in the dark, they don't care who it kills. Stacking courts while they strip out all of your wills. But we'll fight back, march loud, burn bright. Cause this ain't the end, it's the start of the fight. Gilead's here, ain't no grace. And those leopards are coming to eat your face. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator. Trump pile debt, trillions tall. Promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they'd say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd scream foul play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Go through crises, storms and war. Called soldiers losers who died in war. Hired his kids to run DC. If it was Hunter, they'd scream treachery. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, Fox News would say I made. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Love Kim Jong-un, he wrote love letters that take the guns first, lose those rights forever. Signed you spending bills with glee. Had Joe done that, it'd be tyranny. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they shall not today. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
I like turtles.
Kept secret files, countless untold. Said Putin's word was good as gold. Invited the Taliban to come to U.S. soil. If Joe had done that, they'd all recoil. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd want him to pay. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Double standards loud and clear. Rules for Trump, but not for peers. What they call treason, if Joe's the name, is patriotism when Donald's to blame.